What's going on, and good morning. Welcome back to another episode of Good Morning Tottenham. It was the second game of the Premier League yesterday at Molineux. Tottenham 1, Wolves 0, which you got to say, it was a very hard-fought victory yesterday. I thought some players worked really hard in terms of defending that lead. And I think that it was a game where Wolves completely kind of dominated us within possession. But I think Spurs did have the best chances on the pitch yesterday, and would you say it was a deserved victory yesterday in terms of the effort that they put into the game?
Look, we got the lead, and then I think we defended the lead with our life basically, and I think the whole team did work really hard to make sure that we stayed in front once we did get in front. I think I didn't even say we deserved to win, but I think we worked hard for it, and I think on that aspect that we earned the win. We earned the win.
All right, we're back. Sorry about that, guys. Where were we?
Yeah, we're talking about the game. As we said, still needs a lot of work, a lot to be desired. Oh, I think my gone off again. A lot to be desired, and I think we're a work in progress. You know, Nuno has only been here for a short period of time, and he's proven that he can do a lot of coaching in that time. I think, you know, the way he's got Dele playing in that new role. The way he's got the front three being really effective in space and on counter-attack on multiple occasions. The way he's got Dyer and Sanchez defending very resolutely at the moment. I think that's all positive.
But the thing is with Dyer and Sanchez, right? Dyer makes that terrible mistake to let Traore in one-on-one with the keeper. If Traore scores that, it's the same as basically last season. You know, Dyer put in good performances last season and one mistake let him down. Dyer put in a great performance yesterday and one mistake let him down. If that goes in, everyone's slating him today, right?
Probably, but I would say it was a different kind of scenario, whereas last season Dyer would be making a mistake in his own penalty box. This time it was more Dyer trying to be positive, and he just he overcooked it, basically. He tried to take on Neves. He should have just released it early and got back in position, but he tried something. It didn't come off.
At the end of the day, though, a costly mistake is a costly mistake, right?
Yeah, but you've got to notice the difference. One's a costly mistake in his own penalty box because he's got so much defending to do, and one's near the halfway line because he's trying to be positive. So, look, I'm not going to I understand what you're saying, but I'm not going to... I think there is a difference in terms of how the mistake came about. And I think it was because Nuno wants us to be more aggressive and wants us to push higher and intercept the ball and go after instead of waiting deep in our own penalty box for things. And I think that's a bit of a difference, and that's where the mistake bore out. But hopefully he can learn from that. And it's still very early on in the season, and hopefully that'll be one of the few mistakes he makes. But I think defensively, yeah, apart from that, Wolves struggled to really get a big opening. I know Jimenez had a chance in the first half from the edgy area, which went just over. Apart from that, I thought there was so many blocks in there. Everyone was willing to put their body on the line for the shirt, and that was the most impressive thing. Everyone was working really hard and made sure we contained Wolves and made sure we hung on to that clean sheet, and it felt like we earned that clean sheet.
Definitely, I completely agree with that. And in terms of, let's talk about Ollie Skipp, because he's coming from Norwich, a season in the Championship. Obviously, had a great season with Norwich winning the title there in the Championship. He's come in for Tottenham, played against a Man City midfield and a midfield yesterday of Ruben Neves, who was absolutely quality yesterday, and the Wolves midfield, who, you know, Wolves played well yesterday. You've got to say, Skipp has come in against these two top teams now in the Premier League, and he doesn't look out of place whatsoever, does he?
No,
and he's completely at home.
He does, and he looks like he's competing. He's battling in there. He's not being overawed by any players. He's willing to put a foot in. You know, as one thing, kind of being that hard-working midfielder in the Championship and dominating midfield. And I wouldn't say he's dominating, but he's definitely competing, and he doesn't look out of place, as you say. And he got really unlucky, I felt, to be booked in the first half. I thought it was a great challenge.
Great
challenge on Traore.
That was.
Great challenge
Criminal
on Traore.
to book him there, really.
And I thought after that, he's on a yellow card. He didn't go off, did he? Stayed on for the whole game. And it was a very disciplined performance, wasn't it? I felt like to be on a yellow card for that amount of time in that position in the central midfield against people like Neves and Moutinho, who are tricky customers, who you're going to have to get tight to. I felt like he'd put in a very disciplined performance, and he, again, gave us a good platform to build on, and definitely with the counter-attacks that we were able to make in the second half, he was definitely a big part of that, and it was able to set them up. The only thing I worry about a bit is I'm just worried about how we were in possession for a lot of the time. With, I don't know if it was Højbjerg and Skipp's fault, and Dele as well, I had to put him in there, about why we lacked so much control in this game and why we weren't able to get our foot on the ball and you know, play some quick interchanges and passes and stuff like that. But there seemed to be either a lack of willingness to get on the ball in the centre of the park, or just a lack of players trusting them with the ball to play the passes into the centre. I don't know what way around it was, but the amount of times we had to go long was definitely an issue we need to sort out.
Yeah, and it felt like for the most part we were just lumping it up there for the majority of the game, weren't we?
Into Son.
Yeah, exactly. I think if it's Kane up there, it's a different story. But I think when it's Son, Mora, and Bergwijn up there, I think you're pretty much fighting a losing battle trying to punt it up there, and it just comes back all the time.
Although Lucas isn't terrible in the air.
No, you're right. He's not. But
you're right.
You know
you're right, and that's why we looked so much better when Kane came on.
Yeah,
I think we did look a lot better. And also, I've got to say, as much as I didn't think Lo Celso was amazing when he came, but what he did do was gave us a bit more control midfield. I felt like he was coming on and actually doing some quick interchanges and willing to pass the ball and keep the ball on the deck, and that was really, really positive. I was really happy about that. I don't think he came on and did it amazingly. I'm not saying he came on and was amazing and created chances. I don't think that, but he did come on and allow us to get the foot of the ball on the deck a lot more, and we weren't forced to go long all the time. It felt like we were much more willing to pass it into Lo Celso than we were to a Højbjerg or a Skipp or a Dele, and that's the thing with Dele. As much as I love him, and as much as I think he was a great, he put in such a great shift for us yesterday, really did. Him in central midfield, he frustrates me sometimes when he's on the ball, because someone like Lo Celso, even on Thursday night, right, when everyone says he had a bad game, the amount of times he got the ball and was able to twist quickly away from a man and create space and make a quick decision or something like that and go into the space. Dele doesn't quite do that. He kind of looks for a nutmeg, or he tries to take someone on all the time, and he doesn't have that kind of good first touch into space.
Or he just dallies on the ball and loses it, because he just takes too long to make decisions.
You can't do that in centre mid. You can't do that in centre mid.
I agree, and he takes I completely agree, because I was frustrated with Dele yesterday, because for all the dogged hard work that he did, for all the challenges he put in, for all the blocked shots he put in, for all the tackles he put in, I thought he played really well yesterday, Dele. But I think for all those things that he did, there was always a time where he got the ball in the middle of the park and someone would come and nick the ball off him from behind, or where he just takes too long to make a decision.
I'm never comfortable when someone plays the ball into Dele in central midfield. If a defender has the ball and he plays it into Dele, it doesn't make me comfortable, because I always have a feeling there's a decent chance the ball will get nicked off him or he'll lose it. And he doesn't protect the ball that well. I feel like he doesn't protect it very well when he's in centre mid. And that's something, I'm not saying this is something that he can't improve on or he can get better at, because he has so much quality with his awareness and his dribbling ability that he can improve that aspect if he plays centre mid consistently. I just think at the moment it's something that's lacking in his game when he's in that position, and he can be quite frustrating.
But he is showing a lot more fight and grit to his game, that's for sure. Definitely in the past 2-3 years. I mean, this is the best I've seen him play. Yeah,
and that's definitely something that he was impressive at yesterday. The amount of blocks he made from shots and stuff like that, the amount of times he was right side of Neves or Moutinho, and able to block passes and even make tackles and set us up on counter attacks. And let's not forget, he was the one making a late run into the box for the goal. which I have seen again. I must say, he did definitely buy it. He definitely did. I slowed it down. Yeah, he jumped into Sarr. I didn't see it quite first time round, but I have to admit he did. I still think it was a penalty, but I do think he bought it a lot more than I originally thought he did.
What did you think of the Wolves proposed penalty that never happened?
Yeah, I mean, I think Skipp got lucky, but I don't think it's a penalty. I think the VAR was right not to intervene in that instance. It was kind of thigh on thigh contact and very minimal. I don't think there's enough in there to say it was a definite penalty. So I think the referee doesn't get. I think people need to realise that VAR is a different beast than it was last year, and it's not going to start interfering as much in subjective decisions as it was last season. So the referee's decision, unless it's a clear and obvious, unless it's like blatantly obvious that the referee's made a big error, then VAR's basically not going to interject. And I agree with VAR not interjecting in either one yesterday. I think there was enough doubt in the Dele one to stick with the referee's decision, and there's enough doubt to stick with the referee's decision with the Skipp one as well. So I think in that instance, it was probably spot on.
Got a super chat here from Dark Sun G. Oh, we just lost it there. 1 second. Dark Sun G21 saying it's nice to scrape 3 points. You need results like these to get top 4. Look at Liverpool last season. They scraped 3 points and got top 4. It's a good point. I mean, last season we went to Wolves. Wolves outplayed us, and we were 1-0 up, and then they equalised last few minutes, didn't they? In the last 10 minutes, Wolves.
I think it was like 5 minutes to go, or something, wasn't it? Yeah.
So I mean, it was a bit similar yesterday.
I think last season was a bit different, actually, only because we carried a lot more threat in the game today than we did last season. That's one thing. But on the flip side, I feel like for Wolves had a lot of possession but carried less threat last season than they did this season in a weird way. It was actually a bit more of a dead game last season. We took an early lead within 2 minutes and Ndombele scored, and then it was a very dead game. We barely created anything. I remember Reguilon had one chance in the first half, and then it was pretty much dead. And then basically what will happen was Wolves were basically passing it side to side, and they weren't threatening. They were barely getting the ball in the box or anything up until they scored. I remember after they scored, there was a few chances they had. But this game was a bit different. I felt like in this game, Wolves had more threat, but so did Spurs. So it's a bit of give and take.
I still felt like I still had that kind of feeling within inside me watching that last 20 minutes of the game yesterday, feeling like a goal's coming. Goal's coming.
Wouldn't have surprised us, wouldn't it?
And, we said this countless times. How many times have we said that last season? Coming into the last game, a goal's coming, a goal's coming, a goal's coming. But that goal never came, and you've got to kind of say that Dyer, Tanganga, Reguilon, basically the whole back line, Sanchez, Skipp, Højbjerg, even Dele Alli as well, contributed so much to how kind of toothless really Wolves were, because they were getting in good positions. Yes, their end product wasn't great, but our defensive players, the players I just mentioned, it was just such dogged work to keep them out. And I would say, though, against a better side, we probably would have lost or drawn that game.
Potentially, but you also got to say, where did they get their goal from last season? It was a corner, near post header goal. I don't think I was concerned one bit yesterday about a set piece going in. We was rock solid from set pieces. Yeah. There was not. I can't remember one really good opportunity or one opportunity that Wolves made from a set piece yesterday. In fact, we probably created the best chance from a set piece when Dyer had that header at the near post. So that was one thing that was definitely impressive. I think, as you say, the defending was really resolute. I felt Sanchez and Dyer put their body on the line time and again. How many crosses Wolves put in, and they didn't create one chance from a cross. The only chance they had was from a through ball from Neves. All the crosses they put in were dealt with from the centre-backs. Tanganga, as much as he got roasted a few times from Adama Traore, I felt did a really good job when he was asked to be in the penalty area and defend things. And obviously the midfield three did a great job shielding the back four, because everything pretty much came from the sides. And I felt like that's why Neves and Moutinho got quite a bit of joy, because I felt like Højbjerg and Dele, who were the two wide centre mids, were forced out wide so often to kind of help Tanganga and Reguilon on the fullbacks, because they were outnumbered all the time because of Wolves' wing backs and wide forwards. That was a big problem which we struggled to address, but because Dele and Højbjerg are the ones going out wide, kind of allowed the defence to be compact in the centre, and that's probably why we were so resolute.
All right. Let's talk, just before we get on to the press conference, let's talk about the attacking three: Steven Bergwijn, Lucas Moura, Heung-min Son. Heung-min Son, I mean, he did get a bit of an injury apparently before the game. He went down the touchline a bit earlier. In your opinion, do you think he was playing like he was playing with an injury?
It's hard to say. He definitely struggled throughout the game, but it's hard to say whether he struggled because he's a small forward up against three big centre backs, and he just wasn't getting much joy physically, especially when the ball was coming long to him. That one burst through the heart of the Wolves defence in the second half showed to me that he still had the ability to outpace, to burn Cody for pace, even if he was carrying an injury. And I felt like he wouldn't be able to do that if he was seriously injured. But he definitely did struggle throughout the game. He wasn't able, and at the end of that run, he didn't get a shot off. He kind of went for the easy option and tried to pass it, and it was a bad mistake from him. And he didn't look at his sharpest. There was one moment as well when Bergwijn had a shot and he followed up with a shot, and it wasn't his sharpest finish. It was straight at the keeper. But yeah, he didn't look at his sharpest, but it's hard to know exactly why that was. Maybe it was an injury. Maybe that was why. But I felt like how the team was set up wasn't how we were playing. Wasn't also playing to his strengths. We weren't able to get him in behind as much as we would like, and we weren't able to feed passes into him. And that was probably also a reason why he looked a bit out of sorts. But you got to say, the front three, I think you got to say Lucas had a day off pretty much. Yeah. I don't think he did anything. Not one thing. I don't think he did.
No, but I mean, this always happens with Lucas, doesn't it? With that performance he put in against Man City, one of the best players on the pitch on the day. He always follows up a performance like that with a performance like he does at Wolves, and
so
that's the problem with Lucas Moura, isn't it?
Inconsistency.
Because however much we want to big up Lucas Moura, however much we give him praise, he always backs it up with a performance like that.
Yeah, and that was the most disappointing thing. He just pretty much had a game, just had a game off.
Yeah,
just literally did. I don't remember him dribbling past anyone, which is his forte. The only thing he was had a chance to put in a challenge, and especially on Adama Traore, and he backed out, and he was a bit weak, and that was very disappointing from Lucas Moura's point of view. So I felt like you just accept it and you move on, and it was just really frustrating.
Look, everyone's allowed a bad game, and we just don't want it to become. Well, it already has become like that. But this is a new season. You don't really want to mark people down on previous seasons, do you? It's a new season. Yes, one bad performance. We won the game. You just put it to the side and move on, and hopefully he can improve. But we can't have too many performances like that.
Yeah, definitely our best attacker was Bergwijn.
Oh, by far.
Definitely he was our best attacker.
That little skill on the side to get it past those 2-3 players was naughty.
Yeah, and that was a really great piece of skill, and he found Harry Kane as well, and Kane couldn't finish it. And then he also had a great assist from Hugo. He got on the end of that and was able to get a shot off, cut inside and get a shot off, and Sarr forced it into a good save. First half, he also broke the lines and should have found Dele Alli at the back post. Was actually quite poor this time, too hesitant.
That's the problem with Steven Bergwijn, isn't it?
But he's improving, I feel.
By far. I think he is improving, but he's still very frustrating. Mm-hmm. He's still, however good he was yesterday, he was still extremely frustrating, though, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was, and He really should have ended yesterday with a goal and an assist or something, at least a goal or a goal contribution, and he'll probably be disappointed he didn't. But you get the feeling, once that first goal goes in, then it will kind of open the floodgates, I'm hoping.
Yeah,
and he's definitely started the season a lot more confidently, a lot more involved in the attack,
past defenders.
Yeah, so I definitely think he was our most dangerous attacker yesterday for sure.
Yeah, I completely agree. We got a super chat here from Darksun G21, and he says Stevie B did great, was unlucky not to get an assist. And that's completely spot on. And I want to tell the members out there, the link is in the community section if you want to come on and have a chat. We're going to get through Nuno's press conference now, then we're going to go through a couple of the headlines doing the news rounds on the media, and then we're going to start taking calls. So if you want to call in, the link is in the community section right now. So come on and have your say. We've got 792 people watching with us, but only 100 likes. So come on, scroll down, smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, and let's get on to Nuno's press conference.
Hello, guys. Could you raise your hand if you'd like to ask a question, please? We will start with Jim Conlon, please.
Hi, Nuno. Emotional day for you coming back to Wolverhampton. You were on the right side of the result. Was it sort of mixed emotions coming back to a club that's so dear to your heart?
No, in the beginning of the game and yesterday when we arrived, it's always special. It was 4 years of our lives together, a lot of memories. They will stick forever. But then the game starts and everything moves on.
And Nuno, there were so many key moments in that game, but one moment stuck out to me. A ball from Ruben Neves, putting Adama Traore, and when you need your goalkeeper to make those important saves, Hugo Lloris stood strong, and he made some crucial saves there for you tonight. I suppose that's the backing having a world-class keeper, which Hugo is.
Yes, 300 appearances for a club is not in reach of many, and Hugo is a fantastic professional, very good goalkeeper. He has to do his job just like that, and he has to keep on going.
Cheers. Thanks, Nuno.
Thank you, Jim.
Okay, Alistair Gold, please.
Congratulations, Nuno.
Thank you.
Can I just ask you, sorry, just slightly off the pitch, just saw Sonny walking a bit gingerly after the game. Is he all right?
I'm sorry, I cannot answer that, but for now he's all right. He had in the warm-up, he had a strange feeling, but he was okay to play. Was not, I don't know, let's assess him now. I didn't realize. I'm sorry.
It's all right, that's all right. Can I just ask you about Dele Alli today? I know you don't like to pick out individuals, but obviously got the goal today from the spot, but he really seems to be adapting to that deeper role you've got him in now.
Yeah, he's working very hard. He's working very hard. I think all the team work very hard, and we have still a long way and a lot of things to improve in terms of relationship between players, being versatile enough to do. And Dele did a very good job. He worked very hard. He scored in the beginning of the game, and in the last minutes of the game, he was running all over the pitch. So that shows the level of fitness that he has and the belief that he has. And huge help. All the team worked very hard. You know, that was not the best of our games. You cannot, but when you cannot play as good as you want, you do your tasks well. And the boy did amazing. The boys did amazing.
Just last one for me. Christian Romero obviously missed out today. Is he okay? Will he be back soon?
Yeah, hopefully. When we finished the game in Passos, it was okay. But yesterday in the training session, didn't feel totally comfortable. So we decided not to bring him. He's doing treatment now, and I think he's going to be better soon.
Thanks, Nuno.
Thank you, Lazar.
Jonathan Veal, please.
Hi, Nuno. Can you just call your thoughts on Harry Kane's performance when he came on?
Sorry?
Can I just ask you for your thoughts on Harry Kane's performance when he came on?
I think he did well. He helped the team. He had a good chance. Harry is still on the process of increasing and improving his level of fitness. But he's one of the best players in the world. You can see the way he helped the team in terms of possession, he could find lines. So we need everybody, Jonathan. We need everybody.
Do you think Harry might be involved on Thursday night with a chance for him to get a bit more fitness? And obviously you need to turn around that tie around.
Sorry, Jonathan. With this, it's very hard for me to try sometimes understand you. Can you repeat?
Yeah, I was just asking whether he might be involved on Thursday night.
If he's going to be involved on Thursday night?
Yes.
I cannot answer you that. It's too soon. Now we're gonna recover, and we're gonna prepare the next one, and like always do the same way, make the decisions that we take. But now I cannot answer. I'm sorry.
Just last one from me. What did you make of Adama Traore's performance? Obviously, it caused a lot of problems in the first half.
I think Wolves has a very good team and created enormous problems, big problems. One of those was Adama. Everybody knows Adama is unique, so it's very hard to stop.
Thanks, Jonathan. And Graham Bryce, please.
Hi, Nuno.
Well,
Could you just tell me what you thought of the reaction? Were you pleased to see the Wolves fans rise to Harry at the end when he went over and applauded them?
of course. I think we have to be together, and I understand many of these things, but we are Tottenham Hotspurs. Everybody wants to be good. I was pleased with the attitude of our fans. We have amazing fans, and we have to be very thankful for it.
Your old fans, Wolves, gave a bit of a hard time to Harry today. How did you think he handled that?
I did that. It's not me to answer that. I'm only worried about us. It's all about us. Us, always the team, fans, the work that we have ahead of us. This is my focus.
And just finally from me, Nuno, how far do you think Harry is away from full fitness and being match ready completely?
It's better today. Improving. We cannot put a bar on that.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Graham. Thanks everyone for your time. Thank you.
Oh, that was a bit of a struggle, but
Yeah, I know. That was obviously Nuno's press conference. They really need to start getting back to like proper press conferences as part of this Zoom. These Zoom press conferences don't really do it for me.
no, it's hard to really hear what people have to say,
And
especially.
you know what? After so long of doing these Zoom press conferences, you would think that these journalists would get it right with their audio settings and everything like that.
They've still got the microphone on and getting feedback. and
Ridiculous,
bloody hell.
man. These guys supposed to be professionals.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But
To be
look,
fair, we had our audio problems for a while.
yeah, well,
We sorted it though.
here's what it is. But yeah, it was good to hear from Nuno at the end of the game, and I think he was pretty much spot on. Didn't give much away in terms of what Son's injury or if Kane's going to be involved or he's back to full fitness and stuff. But I think he's right. We worked very hard. I think throughout the game, and I don't know. Yeah, it wasn't much in that press conference, was there?
No, not much at all. But look, let's move on. We've got some headlines to get through. So what are we talking about first? Mets chairman confirms Sarr to Spurs. Let me just get the quotes up, actually.
Yeah, got it here.
Oh, you got it, go on.
He says, so Met president Bernd Sering claims a deal worth more than £12 million has been agreed, with Sarr set to spend the season back on loan at the Liga club. He said, nothing is signed, but I have a verbal agreement with the president of Tottenham. It's much more than 15 million euros, both on the fixed amount and the bonuses. Papa Mata must also be satisfied with the contract offered with him. This is not yet the case. There'll be more discussed at the start of the week. If the transfer is to Tottenham, he'll be loaned back to Mets for the season. So that is the Mets chairman talking about Papa Sarr. So that looks like one that's on the brink of being completed. Looks like he's going to spend another season on loan at Mets. And he played on the weekend. Apparently had a fantastic game.
Apparently he has a fantastic game every game.
18 years of age. So this guy clearly is one who's going to be a star of the future, in a position where central midfield is a real battler, and he could be our version of like an Indeed or a Kante or something like that. That's where he seems that kind of role, kind of absolute destroyer in the centre of the park, but also a player who apparently is not bad on the ball either. He's decent dribbling ability, and
he's got a shot on him.
Yeah,
as well.
a decent shot on him. So I'm quite excited about his potential rival, but obviously we're gonna have to wait a year now for him to come. But yeah,
what they were saying is that the reason we stole a march on other teams is no one else was kind of like willing to give him a loan back, and we were the only team willing to loan him back. And apparently there were teams in for him like Man City, Chelsea, like top teams. It wasn't just like Spurs and kind of teams below us. It was actually Spurs were like the lowest team in for him, kind of thing. So I'm very excited about Papa Sarr, but it's hard to get too excited with him not coming in this season, isn't it?
Yeah, obviously he's going to be a great replacement for Sissoko. Does it mean Sissoko is going to hang around for another year? I mean, he doesn't look anywhere near leaving at the moment. But He definitely would supplement our midfield options really great. I think in a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1, he would excel. And I think he's 18 years of age. Will be 19 when he comes into the team. He's at an age where he could be us for many years, signing a big long 6-year deal as well. Sounds like it's not too bad of a monetarily. I don't think it sounds too expensive. So everyone's raving about him over in Liga. Everyone's saying this guy is the next big thing. So it looks like Tottenham might have gotten a gem here, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, we will have to wait and see. I mean, we have heard it all before and seen these young players come from around Europe before. They haven't really worked out. So, you've got to err a bit of caution. But, you've got another central midfielder in Eduardo Camavinga playing at Rennes, who's also been lighting up Liga in France, and he's also got 1 year left in his contract, and he's going for 35 million euros this summer. Would that be better business for us?
Probably. Camavinga's great, but where's he going? He's going to...
Well, there's no real rumours of where he's going, and the Rennes chairman, I think, came out today or yesterday and said he's available to go for 35 million.
Well, look, Camavinga, he's been in the France squad. He's scored for France. He's a bit more of a ball player than, I believe, than Sarr. I think Sarr's a bit more of a destroyer. Camavinga can do that defensive role, but he's much more about his passing range and stuff like that. He's much more of a controller.
Don't we need that more with Skipp and Højbjerg in the squad?
Yeah, but if one of them gets injured. Yeah, well, to be honest, we need both. It's a bit because Skipp and Højbjerg have that solidity. If one of them gets injured, we're also a bit screwed. But also, in centre midfield, we have Lo Celso and Dele. But we don't really have a player like a Ruben Neves or something who can control a game, dictate it with his passing, switch plays very quickly and stuff like that. For all of Dele and Lo Celso's good attributes on the ball, none of them are amazing passers, like long range passers. I'm talking about.
That's what I'm saying. We don't have that sort of ability in our
No,
midfield.
we don't. And Camavinga could potentially do that. So I'd love Camavinga, but I don't know whether he's attainable for us. I don't know.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. But it does look like Papa Sarr is coming to Tottenham this year and then probably to loan back. But we're going to talk about Adama Traore now because it broke last night in the Telegraph again that Nuno does want Adama Traore and Wolves have slapped a £40 million price tag on him. It's kind of, we were saying it yesterday how we don't want Adama Traore at Tottenham because of his end product, but he does offer something very unique in the Premier League that no one can kind of offer apart from him, kind of that sheer brute strength, getting past players, but he just can't do anything on the end of his runs. But, do you think that he could have better end product with better players around him?
Well, first of all, yes, definitely. I think Adama, as much as he's lacks end product, what he does he puts fear factor into the opposition team. He creates space because you have to double up on him, otherwise he's just going to absolutely rinse whoever's at fullback for you. And he's so strong. He can hold the ball up. You can play the ball onto him, and he can keep it for you. He's very good at that. He can play left. He can play right. He can even play centre sometimes. He definitely offers something unique, and he definitely offers on the counter attack he would add an extra dimension for us on the counter attack for sure. Imagine him and Lucas dribbling past people for
one more frustrating than the next.
Exactly, that's the thing. But also you got to remember, Nuno was the manager who got the best out of him from an end product wise a couple of seasons ago.
You say he got the best out of him, but he still only got 4 goals that season.
No, he got more than that, right? He got more than that.
I don't think so.
No, I'm pretty sure he got more than that, didn't he?
No, I don't think so.
He only got four Premier League goals. He got 6 goals. He got 6 goals in total that season.
That's what I'm saying. It's still not much.
I don't know how many assists he got as well, because I think he got quite a few assists.
Yeah,
as well.
I do think he got quite a few assists. But in terms of
if you look at the goals he scored, though, unbelievable goals he scored.
Still 4 goals. I know, Lucas Moura on a bad season will get more than that.
Yeah, and he's 25 years of age, so he's getting into the kind of age where you're thinking this is kind of how there's only so much more he can improve.
Yeah.
40 million I think is overpaying, because I just feel like however good he is, he's just not effective enough to be worth that kind of money. But maybe, you know, if he's just creating all this space and laying it off to Kane and Son, that could be something that could be invaluable, potentially. It could potentially be invaluable.
I think the good thing about Adama, if we are looking to bring him in, obviously Nuno knows him very well. And he knows the quality of the squad we have now. And obviously you've got to trust in Nuno and judging his judgment skills, you know what I mean? Because if he wants to bring in Adama, he clearly thinks that he's going to get a lot of minutes here and he'll impact the squad positively. So, to be honest, I said yesterday that I wouldn't be all for it, but I think if Nuno wants it, then I would be all for it.
Yeah. As I said, I wouldn't be unhappy if we signed him. I just think 40 million is overpaying. I still think that. Even based on yesterday, I know he completely rinsed us yesterday in many, many aspects. What happened?
He's done it many times.
But what happened? Did he score?
No, he didn't.
Did he get an assist?
No.
No, because...
But like I said before, if he has better players around him, a Heung-min Son, a Harry Kane, a Steven Bergwijn, a Lucas Moura, a Dele Alli, maybe his end product can improve.
He had Jimenez, he had Neves, he had good players.
I'm not saying he doesn't have good players, but I'm saying at Tottenham, it's stepping it up a level in terms of the quality.
Yeah, I guess in terms of the attacking quality, it is. What I'd be very interested in terms of Adama is signing him and having him lay things off to Son and Kane and have them finish it. It's very much a possibility that their goal output could increase with Adama around, because if a front three of Son, Kane, and Adama, as much as Adama will frustrate and even have off games, he has to draw attention. He has to, and he's one that he demands attention, because if you don't, then if you don't at least put two men on him, then you're in trouble. You're in big trouble. And if you have two men on him, where do you have Son and Kane? It has to leave space for them. Mm-hmm. So I think Adama would be a good signing. And also he can rotate with Lucas. So if Lucas having an off day, get Adama on. Also has a great option for the subs as well, sub bench.
If we do bring in Traore, does he automatically become our starting right winger? Is he better than a Lucas Moura?
I think, funnily enough, Lucas, however ineffective he is in the final third, he's more effective than Adama in a funny way.
That's the thing.
But I think, however good Lucas is at dribbling, which he is, I think Adama's better in a funny way. So I think it'll be a good battle. And it could maybe improve both of them. That's what I would hope for. It could get the most out of both of them.
I mean, Son on the left, Adama on the right.
And Adama played on the left yesterday, didn't he? And had a good job, didn't he?
But I'm saying we're lacking on the right, aren't we? So
yeah.
I was saying Adama on the right, Son on the left, Kane up top. I mean, that does sound a bit frightening to me.
Yeah, and actually,
you've got two complete killers in there, in Son and Kane.
The thing is, you're getting a manager with Nuno who knows exactly what Adama is and how much he needs to improve and what he needs to improve on, and hopefully with better training facilities, we have better coaches, I'd hope, than Wolves and stuff like that. If we can just literally relentlessly work on Adama's end product, maybe he would be someone worth having. And can we get the phone up? Is the phone ready? Can we see? Because I put out a poll yesterday.
Yeah,
and it's quite interesting how the results is not. Oh, is it not there? It should be there. No.
Oh yeah, it was working before.
Let me try again because I want to.
Probably because we restarted it.
Give me a sec. Oh, for God's sake.
I can just tell people the poll.
Yeah. Because...
Wow, it's literally 50-50.
Exactly, that's what I want to show. And there's been... there you go. So, if you get the phone up, I said, would you be happy as Spurs...
Should be fine now.
Yeah, can you hear us again, guys? As I was saying, the poll is 3,312 votes. It's dead on 50-50, as you can see. It says, Brendan says, for me, Adama is Bergwijn and Lucas together, but more strength, as him and Lucas are both speedy and fast, whereas Adama and Bergwijn both struggle to finish goals, but Adama has more strength than them together, so I don't really see Adama joining being good. That's one. Where's the King says, I see him as a super sub. I think he could be a very good super sub.
Yeah.
Very good super sub. But 40 million
Imagine
for a
bringing
super sub
him and Gil on for the last 15-20 minutes of games.
could be something definitely that could be good.
Yeah, I agree. Like with Hill's trickery and baiting in power players and Adama against tired legs. Wow.
Everything Tottenham Hotspur says, he's not clinical enough, but we need a finisher to help Kane and Bale and replace Gareth Bale's goals. It's true, but could Kane get more chances with Adama around?
Yes, I think
He could. He definitely could, I feel. Stuart Wheeler. Oh, where's that gone? Sorry. Stuart Wheeler says, if we owned him, I wouldn't be pushing for him to be sold, but we already have similar fast dribbling players who lack a clinical end product. I think we need to look for a better finisher. Devley Saint says, good option to have at 20 million as a squad player, but not 40 million as a regular starter. He's too inconsistent and lacks the finishing touch. But you just get the feeling with Adama that, yes, he's inconsistent, all these kind of things. It's so true, and I completely agree with it. But a bit like Lucas, it's just something that can be unlocked. And if you unlock it, you've got a world-class player there. You could potentially unlock a world-class player in Adama if you get it right.
At the end of the day, Adama is young, right? He's 24, 25.
25.
In 5 years, he'll be 30. But in these next 5 years are going to be so
He could
important
explode.
to his growth. And he can explode. He can explode.
He could explode, potentially, like, very effectively.
And I think, like you said, he had his best season of his career under Nuno. Nuno knows exactly what to do with him, and I think Nuno probably had a plan with him how to progress him over the years. I don't think Nuno kind of expected to leave Wolves last season when he did, and I think that Nuno knows exactly what he wants from Adama Traore, and I think if he wants to bring him to Spurs, I would be genuinely all for it, because only Nuno knows how to get the best out of it, to be
He's
honest.
definitely a player who can get you excited as well in terms of when he gets the ball, he gets you off your seat, and when he's taking on a player, he's on a counter, he's just unstoppable, isn't he? We saw that yesterday, how hard he is to defend against, even when we have 2-3 men over there. You know, Tanganga had an unbelievable game against Sterling and Grealish, but he couldn't handle Adama, just couldn't handle him time and time again. And it would be nice to, for once, have Adama on your side as against to shitting yourself every time we face him.
Yeah, definitely.
Pickle Rick says, Adama Traore is a terrible player, massively overhyped and zero in product. For 40 million, I'd rather spend an extra bit and buy Alwa and Max Aarons for our centre mid and right back options. 40 million on Alwa and Aarons, or 40 million on Traore?
I think it's got to be Alwa and Aarons, to be honest. It fills 2 holes in the squad, where Traore just fills 1. But I still think we need that kind of winger. We need another winger as well. But I do think right back is the most important position for me.
I don't know how much he helps defensively, to be honest, Traore. I have to ask a Wolves fan, but yeah, because if we don't want a player, because I know Lucas,
with his pace and physicality, you would expect him to help up quite well.
I just don't know has he got good stamina? Maybe his stamina is not the best. I don't know. Chris Bately, he may be fast and exciting to watch, but stats for end product are pretty woeful. He only hit double figures for assists in 1 season, and that was at Middlesbrough in the Championship, and the most goals he has scored in a season is 5. Definitely not worth 40 million. But who knows? Who knows how he could, as you say, when you put him in a good team, a better team like Spurs, as opposed to Wolves or Borough, where he has a lot more work to do. Maybe he could explode.
With the prices being banded about for players, Pepe went for 75 million a few years ago. Ben White went for 50 million. I know this is just Arsenal signings; they're overplaying for players. But when you're talking about those kind of prices, and you're talking about Adama Traore for 40, it doesn't seem that expensive.
I can just see it, though, being like Spurs' big deadline day signing as Adama, and that's it. We're expected to be happy with the window because it's this big signing and stuff like that. We still need other options, don't we? But yeah, look, as you see, the poll was dead on 50-50 right now. So if you want to go over to Twitter, the poll is going to be open for another 12 hours. So go over there and have your say. nearly 3,500 votes, but literally can't be separated. No one can decide. So interesting stuff there when it comes to Traore.
Adam Richards says Traore could play at right wing back. What do you think about that?
I think he's done that a few times for Wolves. I've never been convinced by him there because I feel like at right wing back, I know he doesn't have the best effectiveness in the final third, but I feel like a right wing back, he's forced into these crossing positions, and his just crossing isn't the best. And that, at least when he's in the final third and he gives the ball away, he's giving away in the final third. When he's doing it in the right wing back position, he's giving away in more dangerous positions, I feel. So maybe he could be retrained. Still, look, as I say, he's 25. He's still at an age where there's not so much improvement to be done, but you can retrain him to do certain things. I remember Victor Moses under Conte, he was like 26 years of age or something, and he was going nowhere. And then Conte comes in, puts him at right wing back, and like he was a league-winning right wing back.
And then he signed him for Inter, right?
Yeah, and he was never as good. But I'm just saying, Nuno has a knack of retraining players and putting them in different positions. He's played Adama up front before. Remember, he got a brace away at Man City and scored a winner. So if Nuno wants him, I'm not going to be against it. But I still think 40 million's overpaying.
All right. Let's move on. City are poised to make their final push for Harry Kane, as Jay Percy from The Telegraph reports. Man City are poised for a final move to sign Harry Kane this week. Man City are set to table another bid through Tottenham chairman Daniel Levy. Though Tottenham chairman Daniel Levy is determined to avoid selling the forward. I mean, I just can't see this happening now. It's too late. If they wanted him, they should have stumped up the money earlier on. They went for Jack Grealish, which is not the player they needed. They needed a number 9, and I think they've just played this all wrong, Man City, to be honest, from start to finish.
I think the fact that Kane played yesterday is a big indication that this deal is nowhere near done at this rate. And if it's nowhere near done with 8 days to go, and with all the negotiating we know that Daniel Levy likes to do, and how long he likes to drag things out for, it's so unlikely. I think there's about a 95% chance now this doesn't happen. It's like really high. I can't see this Kane deal happening. And even it's getting to a stage, and it's probably gotten to that stage, I've said before, even if they do stump up the cash, do we even accept it at this point? I mean, it's like, why? Why accept it? Because you can't spend the money. So I think Man City might make one final push, and we might make one final rejection. That's how I feel it.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, there's not much more to say on the matter, is it? He's played for Tottenham now. He came on yesterday, played well.
Didn't seem like a guy who was downing tools or anything when he came on yesterday. He seemed to try hard. And
I think it was the usual Harry Kane we saw yesterday.
Came over, clapped the fans at the end of the game and everything, didn't he? So I
it
think
would be
Kane
very surprising if he was to leave now.
And then he put a message on his socials yesterday congratulating everyone for the win, which he didn't do last week. So maybe he thought there was more of a chance of it happening, the move happening last week.
I think it's mainly down to his new PR team.
Yeah, maybe, whatever it was. I feel like there's definitely something different. So I feel like maybe Kane, I don't know, I just get the sense that Kane is starting to accept this move is very likely not to happen now. Yeah. He's trying to accept that and move on from it. And I think he tried it. He tried his hardest, I think, to do what he could to try and get the move. It hasn't worked out. But I do think I still think he has respect for Tottenham, enough respect that he's going to knuckle down and get back to his best.
Yeah,
and he looked sharp, actually, I thought, when he came on.
He looked good. And what did you think about the Spurs fans' reception towards him?
Yeah, I'm happy.
Good, wasn't it?
I'm happy because I think it's important that we move on from this situation. It does no one any good, Spurs fans booing him or anything like that. What good does it help at creating a bit of a toxic atmosphere? I know what he did was wrong. I accept that. I think we all accept what he did was wrong in the summer. But it's important that we try once the new season starts, and especially once the window closes, that we put that behind us for the new season, because he's our best player. As much as what he did was wrong, we need him on side, and we need him feeling that love from the fans.
We all need to be on the same, on the same side. We all need to be singing from the same hymn sheet. If there's any sort of toxicity within the club, I mean, it's just not going to work, because we don't have the quality that the teams above us have sometimes.
We need Kane. We need him.
Exactly. So we need him.
If there's if there's any chance of us getting top 4, we're going to need Kane on side and at his best. And that's the fact.
Oh, you got top 4 in your mind now.
I'm just no. I mean,
2 wins on the bounce is funny what it can do, eh?
I don't think we will. I still think it's pretty much impossible to get top 4. I'm just saying, if there's any chance we can, We need Kane.
No,
we
I
need
agree
Kane
with
at his best, and
Yeah.
and to be at his best, he needs to feel that he's still appreciated and loved and respected at this club, and he needs to feel that from the fans. If he's feeling not wanted, he's feeling like he's like that we're angry that he betrayed us and all this kind of stuff, and you know we're booing him. That doesn't help anyone. It just all it does is create toxicity and negativity, and it's not a good thing. But one thing I want to mention though. Is everyone reading too much into these pictures on Dele's Instagram of Kane sitting at the back of the bus and being by himself?
100%. Because first of all, it's a still, so it's absolutely anything, and you can make up any narrative you want using a still image. The news do it enough, you know what I mean? Harry Kane, if you watch the whole video, Sergio Reguilon is sitting next to him. Harry Kane has got his headphones in, and Reguilon literally just gets up to give Dele Alli a drink and to speak to him on his live stream. And Harry Kane was sitting in by himself for literally a minute. So, like, it's cool rubbish.
I didn't see that bit. I didn't know. I just saw the still,
Yeah, it's all rubbish. It's
okay,
all rubbish.
fine. There you go. You heard it here. It's all bollocks from that point of view. So, yeah, you think he is not going to have an issue, is he? Like, being reintegrated in the squad.
Not at all.
And, what was it? Sonny was liking his post yesterday. After
I didn't see that.
Yeah, Sonny liked his post. So
the one of him clapping the fans?
Yeah. So, maybe... because I don't think anyone liked his. None of the first team players liked his post when he did the statement, did they? Apparently, no first team players.
Only the ones that had left, Hart and Lamela.
So maybe it is signs of, him being reintegrated back into the team, and yeah, I think it's positive. I guess he's going to be. It looks like he's going to be here for the foreseeable, for the next year at least.
He looked good in that kit as well.
He did. I think the whole team did. To be fair.
Yeah, I really like that kit, by the way. But moving on, let's go to super chats. Darksun G21 saying maybe Adama can help Doherty like he did at Wolves.
Not a bad shout. Not a bad shout. Because he used to play on the right hand side, didn't he, when Doherty was there, and maybe he helped cover Doherty on that right hand side. So maybe it could help him. Maybe it could help him.
And I knew we didn't want to bring this up this stream, but now he's been sent in a super chat. We're going to have to. But Sandget Dixit says, "What do you think about the CR7 rumors?"
I don't know who this guy is. Michel Criscitello. He is from. I don't know who he's from. But he claims Tottenham could be a possible destination for Cristiano Ronaldo, who wants to leave Juventus. Look, this ain't going to happen. First of all, for so many different reasons. First of
all, Ronaldo confirmed like 2 days ago that he's going to stay at Juve this season.
It was interesting you say that because Romano said yesterday, before the game, so Ronaldo was on the bench yesterday.
Oh, he's on the bench, was he?
Yeah, he came on. Oh, Romano said yesterday that Ronaldo was on the bench because at his request, because he wants to find a solution before the window ends to leave. That's what Romano said.
Solutions on the bench, like during the game.
No.
So I don't understand that.
He doesn't want to. He didn't want to start.
He wasn't in the right frame of mind.
Basically, something like that.
Okay.
That's what he says. So Romano's claiming there could be some movement. Not necessarily anyone's going to come in for him for whatever much Juventus want him, but apparently Ronaldo might leave. That's what he's claiming. But look. He ain't coming to Tottenham. He ain't coming to Tottenham.
That's for sure.
You think Ronaldo, at what age is he? 36, yeah? Yeah, you think he's going to take a year out of his career of Champions League when he wants that Champions League record, that's what he lives for, is the Champions League. He doesn't even care about the league, domestic. I mean, he does, but like, he lives for the Champions League. His goal record means everything to him. You think he's going to take a year out of the Champions League, be it Spurs? I
think the only place he's going, if he's going to go anywhere, is like a Man United or someone.
Yeah, something like that. Like, there is Spurs. You know what? Even if Ronaldo had a burning desire to come to Tottenham, we wouldn't even pay his wages. That's the truth. That's the sad thing. He could want everything.
Though you get it back in shirt sales and everything like that.
Levy wouldn't do it.
But isn't it a guarantee to get that money back in shirt sales?
I don't know. Is it?
Well, Cristiano Ronaldo. Who wouldn't buy a Tottenham Cristiano Ronaldo shirt? Who wouldn't?
I don't know. Well, look, it depends. Maybe. I have a feeling that Levy wouldn't pay it for a 36-year-old. I just get the feeling he would justify not paying it. Anyway, look, no point talking about it ain't happening. Very true.
But let's move on. Let's talk about Frank Kessie, because there was a report last night from Non Evoluto. I'm not sure who they are. They're from this guy's from TV dello Sport out in Italy. And he says Frank Kessie and his agent have received an offer from Tottenham during a meeting with Fabio Paratici. Kessie was offered €8 million net a year for 5 years and additional commission for his agent. His contract is running out in a year's time, but he did say not long ago that he wants to stay at AC Milan for the rest of his career. So which way do you go? Who knows?
Yeah, well, he's still got a year left. He hasn't signed a contract, isn't he? So as long as that is the case, his future is going to be unsettled. But obviously, I love Kessie. I think he's a fantastic central midfielder, and I think he's exactly the type of player we could use in central midfield. And I think he could be a very good player for us. I think it's unlikely he'll be coming in. I feel like they're in negotiations with the contract will probably get done if he loves AC Milan and stuff. I don't know about these links. I don't know if they're reliable or not. The Sun as well were reporting that Spurs are in for him. I saw today.
Great.
But yeah, the Sun
holds a lot of weight from the Sun, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. No, definitely not. So I don't know. I don't think Kessie's going to happen right now.
I don't think it's going to happen either, especially with us bringing in Sarr. And this is going to be a transfer for next season as well. Are we going to bring in Kessie and Sarr in the same window?
I don't think so. Unlikely.
Not unlikely. But by the way, Kessie is an absolute baller.
Yeah, he's class.
What a player he is.
He's class, and he's a penalty taker as well. And he's a fantastic player. And AC Milan, he's a massive player for AC Milan. I just get the feeling there's more to the story. Of there are players who are 1 year left on their deal, but you just get the feeling like they on paper they're 1 year left on their deal, but like it's not really like they're in negotiations and they're never gonna let it run out.
Sometimes agents just put stuff in there for the club to up their wages.
Yeah,
and
that's
all
the thing. You just
get
a thing he's gonna sign it again.
But he's literally openly said he wants to stay at AC Milan for the rest of his career. So I can't see that happening. But let's move on. Let's talk about Tanguy Ndombele. It's been reported all weekend about different clubs coming in for him. Apparently there's a big interest in him in Spain, big interest in him in Italy. I've seen names like AC Milan banded about, Juventus banded about, maybe Sevilla as well I've seen banded about. I think I've seen Sevilla
Leon
as well.
I saw as well. There
Leon
was
as well.
A reported swap deal.
So you don't know if what's lazy journalism or what's right, what's wrong, but I think teams will be interested in him just because of his sheer technical ability. But you're never going to get the 60 million that Daniel Levy wants for him, are you?
No. Apparently, we're prepared to take a bit of a loss on him, but
also, like, regardless of the transfer fee, like getting 200 grand a week off the wages is a big thing.
There are reports in France. I don't know how reliable they are, but there are reports in France that Spurs offered Ndombele plus money for Aouar. And Leon turned it down because there's too much in wages for him. So that I don't know. Look, I got no idea how true it is, but that goes to show potentially how much of a stumbling block his wages could be. Did we make a mistake giving a 22-year-old who'd only had a couple good seasons in Liga our highest paid player? Potentially. I mean, obviously. I mean, we should never really...
Of course we did.
We should never have... I did have eyebrows when we made him our highest paid player.
Yeah, me too.
I did have eyebrows. As much as I wanted him through the door, putting him on the same as Harry Kane more than Son?
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I was like, okay, look, if he's that good, he's that good. I don't mind.
But it was all coming at the time when Pochettino was coming out with stuff like, we need to act like a big club. We need to do this. We need to do that. That summer, we signed Ryan Sessegnon for £30 million. Mm-hmm. We put Tanguy Ndombele on 200 grand a week. I mean, it's just silly decisions, in my opinion. Sessegnon, fine, you can argue he's got a big future ahead of him, but 30 million for someone who didn't really do that well in the Premier League the year before, I thought was, a bit, in hindsight, is a bit too much.
I think Ndombele paying the money, didn't have an issue with that.
No,
I just think
the wages.
Yeah, paying him on 200 grand a week, that was a big risk.
And it's like, if you're on 200 grand a week at Tottenham, you're not going to get any more than that. So it's like, where's the scope to improve? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Tough.
Where's the scope to improve on 200 grand a week at Tottenham?
Mm-hmm. Like, where are the new contracts? What's he going to get? You're not going to give him 300. Spurs don't do that.
Exactly.
So I think it was very odd to put him on the same as someone like Harry Kane. I thought that was strange, but I still got a feeling. I still get a feeling, unless there's we have someone lined up who's who really believe in.
That was it. It was Tolisso plus 20 million for from Bayern Munich. That's
Yeah,
the one I've
apparently
been
we
hearing about.
rejected.
Yeah.
We rejected it.
Would you have accepted that?
I like Tolisso.
He's always injured though, isn't he?
That's the thing. He's a bit injury prone. Never really doesn't play as much as I'd like for Bayern Munich. So I don't know. I feel like maybe you need more money on top of that potentially. As much as I like Tolisso, but yeah, I don't think I would accept that.
Yeah.
I think there could be a potential deal to be done, but for someone for Ndombele, because I do think there'll be teams after him. But whether with 8 days left of the window, it's possible to get this deal done. I don't know. I'm skeptical about it because it's just there's a lot of moving parts.
Yeah.
And his wages and the amount of money we might ask for him, and we'll probably want to play in return. And do we sell him without someone lined up to replace him? Do we just sell him, make sure we get him out the door, or if there's no one lined up to replace him, do we just keep him for another year and hope we can get the best out of him? These are all the decisions that we have to make, and it's a lot easier to make if there's a lot more time. There's not a lot of time to make these decisions,
And every decision we make is going to be an expensive one.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So we'll have to see how this one plays out. 8 days left of the window. And Alistair Golder's come out with some updates
Yes,
for
I'm
us.
just reading his thing. Yeah.
He's saying that Football London currently understands that we're going to move for Traore from now until the end of the window.
They're saying that now. He says, Football London understands that it's currently a case of signing Traore or a striker for Tottenham. That's what he says. Spurs' attempts to buy another striker have proven fruitless, with Vlahovic and Martinez deals hitting the buffers. The problem is that watching how much even not a fully fit Kane can change the focus for Tottenham in the final 50 minutes of Sunday showed how much a natural striker with ability to hold up the ball required at the club. So I don't know whether it's possible. Obviously you'd much rather spend the money on a striker than Traore, I'm
Depends
assuming.
who the striker is.
But we need a striker.
Depends who it is. I think that with Hill coming in, Son can play up top as well. I think Adama's done the forward role.
And we
for
have
Wolves
Bergwijn as
before.
well, I guess.
We've got Bergwijn. So look, I would like Adama to come in. I really would. Look, if we're going to bring in a Vlahovic or a Martinez, then obviously I would prefer them. But I don't know what striker apart from them I would like to see come in.
Alistair Gold says Traore is also seen as a player who could potentially play as a support striker if required through the middle.
Yeah.
That's what he's saying. Although with 2 goals in his last however many goals, I think 46 games or something. Not
but
the
with
best
killers
striker.
around him, like we've said, with Heung-min Son, with Harry Kane, I think they will get a lot more chances with Adama in the team. Like you say, they're going to kind of drift defenders away from them. Adama's going to need 2 or 3 players on him, seeing as how pacey and how direct he is. So I think that it will only be good things for us if Adama does come to us.
Be interesting to see if this one... I think the only thing about Adama, as much as he will frustrate you, he'll definitely excite you, and that's for sure. Now, you can't help but be a bit excited about the prospect of what he could potentially be at Tottenham, because players sometimes fit clubs differently than they fit other clubs. And at Wolves, he's played a certain way, and he's lacked an end product. But maybe at Tottenham, you just never know. Maybe he'll fit us like a glove, and he'll just explode. Maybe, just maybe. And that kind of potential excites me.
I think it's worth taking the risk, in my opinion. I really do, because I know his output hasn't been good for Wolves in terms of goals, but his assists have been all right. And I think that, like we said earlier, it's got the chance to free up Kane and Son a bit more. And a front three of Son, Kane, and Traore has got to be scary.
And it gives us even more of that electric pace up front. Adds a lot of that extra element to us,
and that,
which
us on the counter attack with Traore, Son, and Kane will be frightening.
Yeah. So that season in the Premier League, he got 4 goals and 9 assists. That was his best season under Nuno, Premier League season. So,
and he's very versatile as well.
Yeah, he can play left, he can play right, and potentially centre. To be honest, I don't particularly like him that much in the centre, but last season, in what was probably one of his worst seasons, he only got 3 goals and 3 assists, which is probably poor. He'll probably think of that as poor. But before that, 6 goals and 12 assists in all competitions. That was pretty good. That was his best season. But then before that, 1 goal, 3 assists in 36 games.
It's interesting that Alistair Gold said about Traore is that the option mooted within Tottenham Hotspur is that Traore instead replaces Son's position as a winger in order to push Son further up the pitch to play alongside Harry Kane up top.
Yeah, that could be interesting.
So what would you say? Adama on the left and Traore and Moura on the right? I might prefer to see Bergwijn on the left and Traore on the right.
I don't know what kind of formation are we playing?
Sounds like a 4-4-2.
Or 4-4, yeah, is it a 4-4-2? With Adama on the right, and I don't know, it's a tough one.
They keep talking in the press about how we want to play 2 strikers up top.
Just haven't seen
I've
it
seen
once.
no evidence of it.
Haven't seen it once.
No evidence whatsoever.
But
having said that, we haven't had 2 fit strikers at any one time yet.
It says here, Nuno loves Adama. Fabio Paratici is also a big fan of the player and is understood to have offered more than 50 million to Wolves to try and sign him when he was at Juventus. Do you think this is a thing? Every single time, I've noticed this, every time, whether it be a manager search or a player, every time we are linked with someone, he goes, "Oh, he wanted him at Juventus." It's kind of like a thing they put out to say, like, "See, he did when he was at a bigger club, he wanted him, so bigger clubs are kind of after him," kind of thing.
I think that
every time we're linked with a player, they put that in.
Yeah, but I think that Fabio Paratici, the way he does his business, he's just linked with everyone because, it's widely reported he goes for like 10 targets at a time. So naturally, all these players are going to be in one of his targets at some point.
Every time, every manager we were linked with, he wanted him at Juventus.
Yeah.
He wanted him at Juventus.
Yeah.
So it's kind of implying, if he's good enough for Juventus, should be good enough for Tottenham. I feel like that's kind of message they're putting out.
Yeah, that is the message that they're putting out. Anything else from that Alistair Gold update?
And obviously he's confirming Papa Sarr in advanced talks, and he's going to still move with a loan move back to Metz this season. That's set to happen. So that's all he's seeing. But it looks like Adama Traore is this one could be hotting up between now and the end of the window. Depends if are we actually going to spend 40 million though without selling anyone?
I've been figuring out kind of where these talks going to come from, who is going to come in the door, because it's like 8 days to go now, and I was like, we're not seriously linked with anyone, but now they're coming through now. So I think we're in for a bit of a roller coaster over these next 8 days. I really believe that. We got a couple of super chats. This one from SR El Shamare saying, "Morning lads, Adama really impressed me. I feel he fits perfectly in the team. Opinion." Yeah, we've been speaking about it a lot this morning, and I think Adama, I do think he'll do a good job for Spurs, and I think a front three of Adama, Son, and Kane could be quite frightening. I really do.
I think the only reason I'll bring Adama in is with the hope he can improve. I don't want.
Oh, of course.
You don't want Adama. I don't think I would want the Wolves version of Adama at Spurs, to be honest.
I agree.
But I think you want with a player with Adama's skill sets. They don't come along often. They really don't come along often.
Though, with better players around him, in my opinion.
It's not just better players, it's about finding a role for him. The better role for him than what he's got now. And if we can do that, we could have an absolute star on our hands. But if not, he could be out the door in a couple of years. That's the truth.
Yeah. Santos Grande says, Noni Madueke or Adama Traore? They're both approximately £40 million. I prefer Noni, way more potential, and has 6 years on Traore. Good point.
It's not a bad point, and he definitely has better end product, but he's 19, he's doing it at PSV at the moment. Is he the one to make a step up right now? I mean, I don't doubt why not? I guess
English lad as well.
English. I wouldn't mind Noni and Madueke, but I feel like Adama has skills he'll never have. I think Madueke clearly has a much better technical ability in terms of in the final third, that's for sure. But I don't know, some give and take. Whereas I think in a weird way, Madueke is more of a risk because you don't know how he'll adapt to English league. At least Adama, you can play here. I think, I don't know, what would I rather do? I'm not sure what I'd rather do. It's a tough one. Because Madueke, you just don't know. I think Adama, at least you know what skills he has, definitely, and you can mould him.
It's a risk it's always a risk bringing players over from Holland. Isn't it? It's always.
Would I rather spend it on Madueke or...
Jensen Greenshill says, what about Ismaila Sarr?
Another one. Got a lot of potential and is also good for Watford.
He seems... like last time he was in the Premiership, he had no end product whatsoever. Ismaila Sarr, but he
Yeah.
seemed to really improve on that last
Yeah, in the
season.
Championship, he was getting a lot more goals and assists, and even in the back end of that Premier League run, he was starting to improve his end product. So he's another one who's worth 50 million, who also has bags of pace and bags of ability. What Adama has on these players is his strength. He can couple his strength with his pace, which some people like Sarr can sometimes get bullied a bit. Traore is never going to get bullied or anything, but Sarr definitely has a bit better end product. As much as I don't think his end product is amazing, he has better end product than Adama. And that's the thing. If Adama just has even 10% end product, he's a near world class player.
Yeah. All right, we've got Eden Cooper waiting in the back end. Let's bring him on. How's it going, mate?
Yes, boys. You okay?
Yeah, all good.
Morning,
How you
Eden.
doing?
I'm all good. I'm good. Well, yeah. Okay, now I'm on because I had my TV on and I couldn't see myself. Okay.
You don't worry. You're live on YouTube, mate. You're live on YouTube. You've got nearly 1,200 people watching at the moment.
Nice.
Let's talk about the game yesterday. Obviously, we won 1-0 at Molineux. What was your kind of takeaways from the game yesterday?
Yeah, all in all, I was happy because we all know Wolves is a tough place to go. We've always had trouble there. Even when we won, we always struggled. And I think it wasn't different this time. But we got 3 points, which we didn't do last season. So I think that was good. A few good individual performances. A bit worried with how we played in the sense, especially there was a bit in the first half where we were just lumping the ball forward. And mainly all the chances we got were from Hugo Rees just lumping the ball forward or the centre-backs doing that. That's a bit of a worry because I felt that Skippy and Højbjerg were just maybe a bit too worried with the defensive side of the game. And especially Skipp, I was a bit like, I love him and I think he had a good game defensively, but I think he was just playing the ball sideways too many times, going backwards. Maybe I think he lacked a bit of creativity, but that's not his main skill actually. So I think we need someone...
A bit of Harry Winks syndrome.
Yeah, actually, yeah. But I think he was solid defensively, so we have to say that.
Yeah. Eden, yesterday you saw what a tough time Adama Traore gave our defence. No end of problems, although he didn't end up getting a goal or an assist at the end of the day. We've been linked with him last 8 days of the window with a move potentially up to 40 million. What are your thoughts? Also, either basing on yesterday and based on him as a player, would you be happy with him through the door at 40 million?
Yeah, look, yesterday he was great. Like every time he plays us, he just ups his game, it feels like. And yeah, well, we know that on his day he can be physically strong, but it's all about that consistency. And I think he might lack that, and I think he lacked that during his Wolves time. But I mean, you can never write off a player. He might come to us and be great for the whole season. For 40 million, I think it might be a bit overpriced, but that's the market these days. I wouldn't say no to him. I think at the end of the day, he's a good Premier League player and Nuno knows him well. And we need options, especially up front, because I think, especially on the right, we don't have much options. So I wouldn't say no to him, even just not to have a problem with him when we face Wolves again, because every time we play him, he's just such a problem for us. So yeah, I would take him. I don't think it would be a bad signing. Obviously, we know we have other priorities to be settled, especially defensively and in midfield. But at the end of the day, in the transfer market, you have to take what you can. And if we get him, I wouldn't be against it. No.
And Eden, in terms of the Harry Kane situation now, seeing as he came on yesterday, played well at the end of the game, is that closed book on the Harry Kane situation for this season? Do you reckon?
Well, first of all, just when I saw him come on and the fans giving him the song, like I couldn't feel but happy. Just that moment, I felt so good. We know he tried to do in the summer. We just have to accept that, and I think he'll stay. And yeah, I agree with you. It would do no one good just to boo him or have second thoughts about him, because we know that we need him. And in a sense, he needs us because he can't afford to have a season off if he wants to then move on. Hopefully, we can convince him to stay, because I think he must have that mindset. If he's going to stay with just the mindset of leaving then in the summer, that's wrong. So in his mind, he has to feel like that's bad. Sorry, that's not on.
It's all right.
Hello, Mrs. Cooper.
If he stays with the mindset that he's going to leave, I think it's wrong. But if he can, as I think he should as a professional, and I think he will. I think he will do us just as good service as he's done in the other years he's had, and we need him 100%. And even yesterday, yeah, he didn't score, but I think he helped us even controlling the ball. We had more control when him and Gio came on. So look, happy yesterday. I was very happy.
All right, Eden, always a pleasure, my friend, and we'll see you soon.
Love it, Eden.
Big soon.
See you
Big
soon,
up,
mate.
Up the Spurs. Come on. See you later, mate. Yeah, I mean, we got some more here. I mean,
They've got some more super chats.
Yeah, go through them. But Julian Maynard is still saying that Kurt Zuma is expected to stay in London this summer. 3 possible options: West Ham, Tottenham, or Chelsea. With West Ham the most advanced at the moment. But yeah, let's get through these super chats.
Daniel says, Sim and Ben, keep up the great work. Big up to you, Daniel. Matt G says, evening guys from down under. Love the show. I just watched the game. Like, oh my god, don't know how we won that game. I'm happy with the 3 points though. Big up to you, Matt G. Just watched the game. He must have recorded it.
Yeah.
Done a recorded. We just woke up and so wow, good news. Just come on for a post-match fan show now. Welcome to Goal to Santhuch Gunawaradeen. Thank you. Welcome to Goal. Welcome to the family, mate. And Dark Sun G, big up to Dark Sun G21. Adama could be good for the lower-sided teams like Burnley, Newcastle, Norwich. Those teams who can play with 10 defenders, Adama can give us space.
Yeah, could be.
Actually, I think those are probably the games he might most struggle against.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
Why? What? Because less space.
That's why I think he likes some space, a bit of space to run into. I think Adama.
He does. But I think no space or space. I think he could thrive in. I really do. He's got that much strength.
Then again,
and
yeah,
ability.
he's playing against worse defenders, so they're easier to dribble against
Yeah.
and stuff. Danny Din says, "Don't you think we need a midfielder good on the ball more?" I do. I do think we do. We need someone.
We need a right back. We need 2 right backs, probably. Well, 1 right back now with the emergence of Tanganga, I would say. But is 2 games really enough to judge Tanganga? Are we really willing to put that much trust in him moving forward?
Yeah, I would want another one. I don't know what will happen to Tommy Arsu. This one seems dead, but look, I want another one. I want Aurier gone. I just can't trust Doherty. And then as much as I like Tanganga, and I think he had a great game, is he one I want around the whole season, a right back? I think it's going to be it's tough to do that. So
Big season for him.
And also, I do still have question marks to whether when he's asked to do more when he's asked to have more attacking responsibility, whether he's up to it. That remains to be seen. He's clearly very adept at defending and one-on-one situations. I've got no problem with him, as I've said, but it remains to be seen whether he can be more offensive right back when he needs to be.
Yeah. Super chat from Daniel here says, "What's the new transfer news from yesterday?" I mean, we've been talking about it all stream.
Watch the show, mate. Come on.
We've been talking about it all stream, but it's mainly about Adama Traore, to be honest. Tanguy and Ndombele a little bit, but mainly about Adama Traore. But we've got a guest waiting in the back end. His name is Alex Samuels. Alex, how's it going, mate?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks. Yourselves?
Was it
Morning.
good?
Yeah, morning.
Sorry, I can't hear you. I think my headphone was unplugged for a second.
No, I can hear him.
All right.
Yeah, you were at the game yesterday, weren't you, Alex?
Yeah, I was there. Yeah, it was first time at Molineux, so it was a good experience. Very atmospheric ground. The Wolves fans are pretty enthusiastic, to say the least.
I feel Alex, we weren't there yesterday, but I've been to Molineux quite a few times now, and what I feel with Molineux is that because the away end is so spread out, it's hard to get a proper atmosphere in the away end going at Molineux. Was it like that yesterday?
It kind of was like that, actually. Because, you know, one side starts a chant or something and the other one's like, oh wait, and we can't really hear what's going on the other end, so it is quite difficult. And the Wolves fans certainly let that be known that we couldn't really get, but nonetheless, actually the fans were pretty good overall. It was pretty good fun there. Bit of a nightmare to get back on a Sunday evening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the sense? What was the sense in the away end regarding Harry Kane?
Yeah, it was pretty universal applause, and he's one of our own, etc. don't think there was any. Couldn't hear a single boo where I was, or anything. Or yeah, I think it was just universal. I think just glad to see him back on the pitch playing for Spurs. Yeah, I couldn't hear anything bad whatsoever.
That's good. And you think that was, you think maybe it was a sense of relief that he was back in the Tottenham shirt and we hadn't seen the last of him potentially? Because there was rumours that, you know, some people might boo him or some people would get a tough reception, but it didn't seem to happen, did it?
No, I think you're spot on. It was just a sense of like, oh, you know, he's here still. Doesn't look as though he's going to go. To be honest, no matter what the bid is at the moment, it just seems like it would be a Herculean feat to pull him away from Tottenham at the moment. I think Kane is starting to maybe accept the situation a bit more. So yeah, and it was interesting. Also at the end of the game, he came over and clapped the fans. He didn't get too close. He like just kind of went to sort of between halfway the opposite end of the dugout and the fans, and so he didn't get too close. It just a very quick clap, and yeah, it was one of our own. So
and the cheek of Sky Sports when he did that. Did you see what they said? Is he saying goodbye?
Oh really?
The cheek of Sky Sports, man. Any little clap, and he's like, "Oh, is that a goodbye? Is that a goodbye clap?" Unbelievable. Was that a good bypass from Harry Kane? Honestly, it annoys me. Talk to me about Adama yesterday. He was in full flight, causing Spurs no ended problems. We've been linked with him now. 8 days left to go in the window. Apparently, we're linked with a 40 million bid. Alistair Gold says we're going to decide whether to go for Adama Traore or a striker between now and the end of the window. And if we sign Adama, we'll push Son up front. What are your thoughts on that potential deal?
Well, I don't see what striker we are going to get. I don't know really who would be available, to be honest. We'd have to look really very internationally, wouldn't we? I can't really think of any obvious names, at least. But I'm not a football scout, so there's that. Yeah, I think we maybe missed the boat with some players like Patson Daka. You know, this is why I think this should have been something we should have looked at earlier in the window. We've missed a lot of opportunities. He would have been a great player to get in, potentially. So, and he, you know, even a Danny Ings. I know there's certain question marks about him and everything, but if we're willing to spend 40 million on Traore, well, I don't really see the reason why not spend 30 on Ings personally. I know there are other concerns of him. I do get that point as well, with his injury record, and age and whatnot. But yeah, in terms of Traore, I think personally, watching him yesterday, I think it would be very easy to get excited about him as a player coming to Tottenham. I think the problem we've got though is that I remember when Bergwijn came in, everyone was like, "Oh, he's the Dutch Adama Traore." That's what everyone said. You know, he's got the physicality and the pace and everything, and he's just got the finishing ability. Well, we know Bergwijn's finishing ability isn't great now, and I'm not, it isn't. It's not top notch, and I'm just worried that by signing Traore, we're going to get even more frustrated of our wingers, and because we know that sometimes they can just be very off the mark. And I do worry, why hasn't, maybe other top clubs gone in for him? I'm not too sure. I mean, I know Paratici did try and get him at Juventus, but I don't know. It does worry me that he's so inconsistent. It seems he's good at creating space, and his one-on-one ability is brilliant. Taking on his man, I mean, he did miss that chance against Luis yesterday, and I think I think in conclusion, I'd rather spend, if we've got 40 million to spend on a player, I'd rather put that in other positions. I'm not gonna lie. I think we need another defender. Spend the money in that area. We need probably another midfielder as well. Spend it there. That's just my personal opinion there.
Yeah, do you think with Adama spending that kind of money, 40 million, you're kind of hoping we're signing a player that he isn't? In a way,
exactly.
you're kind of knowing you know what his qualities are, but you're signing him with the hope that he can improve massively on what he's done already, because with the qualities he has the potential to explode, but it's whether he ever will. And do you think there is a possibility though, if he plays with Harry Kane and Son, and he creates space for them, and maybe he can up their goal output and stuff like that? Is there a potential of that?
I hope so. Although if you look at in personnel around him, maybe that could be the case. But if you look at who was he managed by beforehand to try and get out of him? It's the same manager. So I do think you're quite right with that. Maybe we are looking and saying, oh, we hope he improves. You know, he's 25, I think, at the moment. You know, he's about halfway through his career. I do think it's up for a lot of money, this signing, which should be maybe going into different areas. I do think it's a risk in what's not really a priority position, and it does seem to be almost a we're going to change the system because we can't get hold of the player that we really want, if that makes sense. Which I don't really think is ever that much of a good idea. You know, this is why you act early in transfer. You know, players like Martinez and Vlahovic, they're going to be very difficult to get hold of, obviously, for the finances, and they just don't want to let them go. But there's other strikers that potentially we could have got if we just moved a bit earlier in the market, and we didn't do that. So now we're going to pay the price for it. And
fair enough.
The price that is maybe changing the system.
Yeah, it's very interesting. But back on what you were saying about Kane before, I've got a snippet here from Sky Sports text commentary from the game yesterday. I don't know if you saw this. And it was on the 91st minute when Kane got his yellow card. And it says, yellow, Kane isn't on the score sheet, but he is in the referee's book now after pretending he's going to take a throw-in, which was blatantly Wolves' to help round down the clock. Pep Guardiola would love that. Like, can they please stop? Like, they just can't stop doing this bollocks with Pep Guardiola, Man City and Harry Kane. Even in a text commentary of Wolves against Tottenham. Like, come on. What do you make out of that?
Well, are we surprised, to be honest?
No, I'm not surprised, but I still get angry every time I see it.
I get angry over it, but I think you have to, the Sky is a media organisation who thrives off of this sort of stuff. You know, transfer stories is how they get their clicks. Yeah, that's what's going on. Unfortunately, they are kind of like, the epicenter of football in the UK, and that is a bit of a problem when they now have, they clearly they'd love him to move to Man City because it generates the clicks and everything. It's social media 101, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really. So I can understand why they're doing it. It doesn't make me as a Tottenham fan though. It's just really annoying, isn't it? It's like it's an annoying fly that's always buzzing around you, going, "Harry Kane moving? Is he moving? Oh, is that yellow card? It shows he's moving to Man City." It's like,
quickly, Alex. Before we let you go, on Ndombele, we look to be offering him to every single top club there is at the moment.
Every club going, basically.
Every club. With 8 days to go, do you expect him to be here at the end of the window?
Yeah, I do. I just think there's a bit of discrepancy over what the final signing figure was, but if we agree it was maybe around the 55 million mark, let's call it that, 55, about halfway.
What's the discrepancy? What's the discrepancy?
Because Leon's accounts show it as being, I think it was 47 million.
And maybe it's add-ons as well.
Yeah, it was probably 47 plus add-ons.
Yeah, so who knows about those add-ons if they're acheap or not. So, then
we haven't got Champions League since he signed, so I think they're part of the add-ons. They're normally lacking.
Yeah, no, but and then others say it was a straight up fee of 60 million. So that's the discrepancy. So if we just assume around the 55 million mark, let's call it. Are we going to get that money back? No, we're not going to get that money back because he hasn't progressed as a player.
But we can get 200 grand off the wages, though.
200 grand off the wages, yes, which obviously is a ridiculous amount to be paying a player which isn't playing for us. But I think an interesting question would be is if he does stay, which I think, in answer to your question, I think does look quite likely, is Nuno going to bring him back into the fold? Because, we all thought maybe it was because he didn't fancy him, but then it came out that actually it's because he put in essentially a transfer request. So is he going to maybe start coming into the team? How does he fit into this sort of team? When actually our midfield's looking pretty good at the moment with Skipp, Højbjerg and Dele. I thought Dele was really good yesterday.
He was good, but frustrating still, in my opinion.
Yeah, he does frustrate me. Some of his decision making can be at times a bit delayed, but I do think it was actually a bit of an improvement from the City game. Yeah. But you can see what people have said he needs to transform as a player, and you can now see what he's kind of trying to do, which I think is really good.
Agreed.
Is a big positive. So yeah, so I do struggle to see where he's going to fit in, and we've got a very, very valuable asset that's essentially just going to be in the bench or in the reserves, which is a big problem for the club, and it's obviously a gamble that hasn't really paid off yet. And as our record signings, I love the player. I really, really love him. I have full belief that he's going to be a quality player one day. But it's not going to happen at Tottenham. Even I've accepted that now. It's not going to be us, and I can understand why the club are going to want such a high fee for him. But you know, it's the classic case of we sign players and then we're not willing to maybe take a lower fee to invest it back in. But and while that might sound a complaint, I do understand why the club won't. So no, I don't think he's going to move on. I don't.
In hindsight, to take on Tanguy and Ndombele for 200 grand a week, I mean, what a bad decision that was. I mean, he had only had one season, I think, at the top level in France, right? And he was playing in like the 3rd or 4th tier in French football before that. Am I right in saying that?
I think it was 2 at
2 at Lyon.
Okay. 2 seasons at Lyon, yeah.
But even so, like 2 seasons at the top, surely how do you incentivize a player when you put him on 200 grand a week from the start?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, putting him on the same money as Harry Kane, and does it just side point? Doesn't that say a lot? Harry Kane and Ndombele both want to leave the club. It's both on, I think it's around 200 grand a week. You know, our 2 top highest earners, arguably, in my opinion, our 2 best players.
Yeah. Technically, anyway.
A bit in terms of ability, both want to leave the club, which is just really sad, isn't it? But you know, when a player's fallen out with what's it? 4 managers now, or not fallen out, but you know, is struggling to get into the team. Definitely doesn't really fit in. 4 managers, it's not good. It's really, really not good.
Funniest one is he got on with Mourinho, the best out of the lot.
Yeah, eventually,
eventually.
Really badly.
Yeah.
And we saw, but we did see a great version of him under Mourinho that was really trying hard. We can see it. It's a mentality thing, isn't it, with Ndombele? We can see 100%. He doesn't have it at the moment at this level, and you know, eventually we are going to have to move him on. But I worry how much of that fee we're going to get back. And you know, in my opinion, we need to get some sort of another creative player to replace him, because he was never really that Dembele replacement. That was what he was originally intended to be. But he was never that. He was never really that player, and it's really bad in our scouting. To be honest, we should have known about his mentality. I remember reading in, I think it was L'Equipe, that he was very inconsistent as a player, and he admitted it himself after he signed for Tottenham that he's inconsistent. And also there were questions about his mentality at the time. So I don't know how he missed out. Obviously, clearly, Pochettino wants him as #1 target and all that, but it's just a shame.
We did a video with the Lyon fan channel at the time, and they said exactly that about his mentality, about how he's very inconsistent, about how he lacks motivation to play against the smaller sides in France. So, I mean, the warning signs were there. But I guess it's a gamble we took on his ability, isn't it?
Yeah, and you know, we need to learn lessons from it. Don't buy players hoping that they're going to become something that they're not, and maybe that links back into someone like Traore. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's interesting lessons Tottenham are learning at the moment. But you know, move on to Thursday. It'll be. I don't know if I'm going to go yet. I'm not really too sure if I can.
Yeah, neither are we.
We're not going on Thursday. We're not going.
Oh, I don't know. And then Watford next weekend, which should be good.
Yeah, we'll be there. Lastly, as Alex, someone sent you a super chat. SW says, "Is Alex's bed Spurs' defence? Adama Traore must have visited."
Had to get a bed reference in there at some point.
Had to get in there.
Oh god. Yeah. Funnily enough, at the game yesterday, there was someone just in front of me, and they said, "Oh, you do YouTube stuff." And I was like, "Oh, everyone's making fun of your bed, aren't they?" And I was like, "Yeah, they
Even getting it on the terraces, I love it.
Yeah, God, yeah.
You can start chanting, "Make your bed." Make your bed.
Oh God.
Love it.
Yeah.
Nice one, Alex. Good to see you, my friend.
See you soon, my friend.
Thank you. See you guys.
Come
See
on,
you soon.
Spurs. What happened to Grandpa? I
Is
saw
he
him in
not
the
there?
back end a second ago.
Do you not know anymore?
He's not there?
He tweeted at us.
Tweeted saying what?
He just said we are. He just tweeted saying we are Tottenham TV.
Go on, Carl Patrick Vineyard with the super chat saying Traore, Kane, Son, that front three could cause problems this season. Come on, you Spurs, get the deal done, Mr. Levy. Then we can win the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup.
Stuart Wheeler on Twitter says, take a look at Sheikh Mansour's Wikipedia. He is part owner of Sky Arabia. Not coincidence that Sky is pushing Kane move.
Oh, that's
conspiracies.
That's an interesting shout.
Conspiracies. Well, so is Grandpa gone then? That's a shame. Try and come back if you're there, Grandpa. But is that Grandpa? No. Okay, well, someone else.
Who's here? Who have we got?
Got someone else.
Who is it?
Hello, who's this?
You don't know.
Don't know. Don't think so. They're on first time caller.
All right, let's
go
bring him on. Santush.
Alright, just getting him ready.
He's just doing his makeup and then he's going to be on in a second.
Yeah, hair and makeup. Yeah, exactly.
And here is Santush. Santush, how you doing, my friend?
Hey, not too bad, guys. I just joined today as a new gold member. Lovely to be being a part of the family for a while, but now I'm getting a steady government check now, so now I can put some of that to the boys.
Love it. Thank you, man.
I'm judging from your accent that you're from down under, right?
Oh, is he?
Is he? I think he's frozen.
Sure, my parents are Sri Lankan, but I was born here.
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Yeah, I can hear him.
Are you from down under?
No, yes, so I was born here, but my ethnicity is Sri Lankan.
Oh, okay.
Sri Lankan, lovely.
Okay, I understand.
Class. What time is it over there? It must be midnight, right?
It's quarter past 9. Yeah.
Oh, 9. Okay,
not too
wow.
bad.
Yeah, quarter past
Did
9,
you
yeah.
did you get to see the game yesterday?
Yeah, it started at 11 p.m. for us, so I watched it. Yeah, not gonna lie, I'm happy that we won, but let's be honest, I don't think it was the greatest performance by us. Yeah, I think
you say
very lucky win.
You say it was lucky and it wasn't the greatest performance, but didn't we have the best chances in the game?
I mean, I feel like after we scored that penalty, we were literally just waiting to counterattack, and it just reminded me of Mourinho. It just reminded me of I feel like Wolves really lost the match. We didn't win the match. Wolves really lost the match because I feel like they had way more better opportunities than we did.
I mean, they had that one chance one-on-one with Adama Traore, but apart from that, they didn't really have that many clear-cut chances, did they?
I feel like the shooting was pretty off. They had 27 shots on target, wasn't it?
No, they had 6. They had 6. I think they had
6
6 shots on target.
No, sorry. What am I saying? 27 targets. But I think it was the same as last. Yeah, I think it was the same as last week, where their shooting was really bad, and they lost last week as well. But they had way more shots on target. So
yeah,
I'm not. Yeah, I don't know if it was us defending really well, or Wolves just not shooting properly.
Fair enough. Looking at how Adama Traore, terrorised our backline yesterday without getting any goals or assists. What's your reaction to reports that Spurs are going to make a move for him with 8 days left of the window? Are you excited about that?
I mean, sure, it'll be good, but do we need more of a pure striker? Because we look at his finishing ability, brings up a lot of question marks. I think that's why I brought up the point before. I would rather pay the same amount and get Noni Madueke.
Really?
I definitely think Noni Madueke is 19, Traore is 25, more technically sound. Madueke is still strong. He's obviously I don't think there's many people in the world of football that are as strong as Adama Traore, but I think Madueke, if you're spending the same amount, because Madueke's just got so much time to grow in potential, and I don't want to buy someone looking at to selling them because Madueke can be so good. But if you were to look to sell him, I mean, his value is just going to go up way more.
Okay.
If you're
So,
looking through the glasses of Daniel Levy.
Fair enough. Yeah, resale value is definitely more there. And in terms of Ndombele, you know, where it looks so obviously at the end of last week we heard he's asked the club to leave. In the preceding days now we've seen Spurs apparently offer him to every top club there is at the moment to see if anyone's interested in stumping up any money or the wages. Do you expect to see Ndombele at Spurs beyond the end of the window?
I would say that before COVID, it would be almost a guarantee that he would be at another club before the end of the window. I just don't think now, because you look at the clubs that are looking to get him, Serie A, La Liga clubs, they just don't have the funds to, even take him on a loan for 200,000 a week. I just don't think I think he's going to stay at Spurs at least till the next transfer window, if not longer. It just doesn't seem like it's feasible for most clubs to do so.
Are you happy about that? Do you want him to stay?
I mean, you know what? I think he's such a skilled player. His motivation's just not there. He just doesn't have the motivation and the mindset of a professional footballer. I think it's just been proven over the time he's been at Spurs. And yeah, I mean, he's had before we bought him, there were like 2 coaches of his from before that said that his motivation was just not there. So I don't know. He's shown like such great glimpses of potential, but then you see like the rest of it, which is just not at the level we expect of our most expensive signing ever. So yeah, it's sad, but like it'll probably be needed. I don't see him being a Spur for much, like for the rest of his career, or even for like another 5 years at all.
Yeah, I see that. And with Kane coming on yesterday as well, talk about Kane. You think that his City deal is, even if they do have a final push, do you think there's any chance that deal happens now?
I'm pretty scared. I mean, because the last time they said 100. Because I would love for Harry Kane to stay at Tottenham. He's our greatest player of all time. But the thing is, Man City put 127 mil as the last offer. What's 23 more to them if they want to spend 150 mil? So, and if they get a good striker, they're by far probably the biggest contender for the Premier League. So, I don't know. I'm scared. And when you put 150 million pounds in front of Daniel Levy, I think it's hard for him to say no to that.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
What about you guys? What do you guys think?
I think Kane's staying. I can't see him going now. I think it's a bit too late for him to. I think it's too late in the window.
150 million if we can't spend it? What good is it?
Exactly, and I think he should stay because Tottenham. I just don't think we have anyone to replace him at striker. I think and there's no one in the market at the moment to replace him for sure.
Imagine we sell Kane and replace him with Adama.
Say again?
We sell Kane and replace him with Adama.
Oh,
That'll be very
God,
Levy.
if we did that, we may as well just give up now if we do that. But Santosh, absolute pleasure having you on today.
Santosh.
Thank you
Nice
very
to meet
much
you, my
for
friend.
calling in, and we'll see you next time.
No worries, guys. All right, have a great day for you guys.
Thank you, man. Nice to speak to you. Really good speaking to you.
Dear.
Awesome.
The nominations have just been released for the Football Content Awards, and we're up for Best Club Content Creator.
Are we?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
We got nominated. The category for Best Club Content Creator in the Premier League, the nominations are the Arsenal Realist, City Extra, the Gooner Talk TV, Talking Wolves, Chris Cowlin, Dazzling Dave, the Palace Daily, Alice Talks Football, One Leeds Fan Channel, and We Are Tottenham TV.
Nice. We'll get voting, guys.
So everyone go get voting for Best Club Content Creator. I'll put the link in the live chat now. So there it is. I'm just going to pin it to the top. And we are up for Best club content creator in the Premier League. So it would mean a lot if you were to vote for us. And yes, as people are saying, we are up against Chris Cowlin, so it's a bit of a Tottenham derby there.
Let's
But,
make it first and second, the Tottenham, all Tottenham affair. Simon Stone of the BBC has been
what's
tweeting.
he saying now?
He says, I've been told Tottenham bid for Adama Traore is anticipated by Wolves before the window closes. Bruno Lage is anticipating more signings. The question is whether the two are linked. This one seems to be gathering pace. So it looks like a Tottenham bid for Adama Traore is incoming. So it looks like Adama could be a player who could be through the door before the window's out. Let's see what happens with that one. But looks like this one seems to be gathering pace.
Interesting. So I guess we're going to have to see how this one plays out. There is only 8 days to go. But I think that we're going to be seeing kind of movements on this today. I think we'll see more news on this come out today, in my opinion. So we will be bringing you a Tottenham update later on this evening. But Cody Mack, big up yourself in the comment. I'm not going to read out the comment, but big yourself up. We've got some more guests in the background. Abhishek. Let's bring on Abhishek. Abhishek, how's it going, my friend?
I'm doing all right. How are you guys?
Yeah, good to speak to you again. Were you happy with that performance and result yesterday?
Yeah, you know what? I was actually really happy with the performance. I saw a lot of our fans comparing it to somewhat of a Mourinho performance, a counter-attacking based performance. But I saw something different, because we were defensively more sound. Dyer was stable, and Sanchez was also surprisingly stable and confident in his moves, which we haven't seen in a long time. We got the goal really early in the game. It was a really good move. It was a clear pen for me. So nothing wrong with the decision. We got the Ali has got to a scoring. He has scored his first goal. So hopefully he gets to score more goals this season, because he definitely needs that, to boost his confidence. Overall, I thought we created good chances. They were potent chances, but just the final 2 or 3 touches weren't good enough. But overall, I feel confident especially after what happened at European Conference League. So I think it was a good step forward. We are the only one of the 4 teams that have collected 6 points, which is a massive thing. Because we are ahead of City as of now. And we need to be up there, because tough games are coming. Every game is a tough game in the Premier League. That is the beauty of it. So I think going forward, I feel confident for our next match. I don't really, coming back to the rumors, I don't really see why we are going for Traore, because I don't see where he fits in, because we have Mora in our team already. Kane will be integrated back into the team, so I don't see a place for him really. If Kane is to leave, we need to replace him with a striker, not a winger. So I don't see us linked, because earlier in the season we were linked with a lot of strikers, but all those links have just disappeared as of now. Martinez is off, and all the strikers that we were linked with, all the agents have come out and said, what, they are not moving. So in this season, I don't feel like Kane is moving. He's going to have to bear us for another season. Hopefully, give his all one last time, and then get his dream move next season. And I feel like that is the solution. This season, for some reason, I don't know. It is. I think every fan goes through it. It's the start of a new season. You feel optimistic. You are like, what, this is the season that we can achieve something. I think there is a sort of positivity around the club. I don't know why there is, but it is a good sign. In the club, everyone at the club seems to be happy except 2 or 3 players, the obvious ones. So I feel that moving forward, there is a good sort of an harmony in the squad. I've seen a lot of post-match interviews of the players, and I see a difference in their attitude, because they want to work for the club again. They want to give their 100%. So I think it is a good start and a good, sort of an introduction to what Nuno has to offer to this club. And I feel like going forward, he can really have an impact on us that we wouldn't have seen coming. Something like an Poch. He was a gamble. He wasn't our first choice even back then. Nuno could have a same story, but hopefully with a different ending.
Yeah, it's very interesting. And in terms of Tanguy and Ndombele, how do you think that one's going to play out from now until the end of the window?
I saw a tier 2 reporter claiming that Bayern Munich had offered 20 million and Tolisso for him. Uh, but I feel like he isn't moving this season because the kind of money that Tottenham would, demand for him. No one out there has the kind of financial resources to really go for him. I don't feel like there is any club who desperately need him. So I don't feel like he would get his move this season. Maybe if Fabio could work out a loan with an option or an obligation to buy, maybe a deal like that could be on the cards. But I don't see any club going for him, any top club at least. So it will be really difficult to move him on. And it's been a trend with Ndombele. All the managers have had the same complaint with him. It's his discipline, it's his commitment to play the game and for the club. And I feel like it's time to cut our losses with him, honestly, because he has gotten chance. He has been under 3 managers now. So I feel like if it is not working, there's no point putting more resources and more time into it, because he's on big wages as well. So I would rather see a new and upcoming player given more of a chance who would actually, give his 100%, fight for the badge. I would like to see that more as a fan than, have a luxury player who is just going to do some tricks and flicks on the pitch. That is not what the game is about. So I feel like it's time for him to go. I would be sad to see him leave because I know the potential that he has. And his command of the ball is second to none because we have seen that. But I feel like he's just not what we need right now. We need work dogs on the pitch, and I feel like we need to get them on the pitch more than Ndombele.
All right, Abhishek, good to speak to you, my friend. Nice
Thanks
to have you on as always.
friend. Come on, you Spurs.
Okay,
Come
thank
on.
you. Come on.
Come on.
Come on. Dark Sun G21 says, "What do you think of the McKennie and Tanguy swap?"
I mean, that's like I don't know if they're watching us because I just literally just plucked that out from thin air like last week when the first Tanguy and Ndombele.
And then all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, is that happening?"
All of a sudden it's all over the place. It's McKennie and Ndombele swap deals. But look, I said I would take it. I would take it, and I would take a swap deal for Kessie as well.
Dark Sun G21 says, "I saw rumours of it. I don't know who McKennie is. He's Juventus central midfielder." I also saw rumours that Juventus only won 30 million euros, but it doesn't seem to make too much sense to me, seeing they only signed him for 30 million euros. So why would they sell him for what they bought him for only a few months ago?
Who's that? AC? Who?
McKennie.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I don't see how he leaves Juve. They literally just bought him.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me. So I don't know. So I don't. Romano said he doesn't think McKennie's leaving this summer. So it looks unlikely.
Yeah.
Matt Law has been tweeting about Ndombele and Adama Traore. He says Tottenham to accelerate talks over Adama Traore. Deal could end up being a loan with a view to a permanent 40 million move or a series of small staggered payments like Liverpool struck a deal for Jota. He then goes on to say Tottenham are trying to find a buyer for Ndombele, with Bayern Munich the only club to show real interest. Spurs are willing to cut their losses if they can find a buyer or a club prepared to take him on loan with a guarantee of a permanent deal. So do you reckon the Adama deal could be dependent on Ndombele leaving?
I mean, with that money banded about, potentially. But I don't know. I don't know. Tottenham's finances are very much in the dark, aren't they?
Yeah.
We don't know how much money we actually have to spend. Every summer we're like, oh, we need to get rid of players to bring in. I don't know how true that actually is.
You think a loan, Adama on loan with a option to buy for 40 million is a good deal for Spurs?
Yes, I do. I think,
think
try before you buy.
Surely Wolves won't accept that.
I doubt it. I doubt they'd accept that. But if we can kind of persuade them to accept it, then I think I'll be all for it.
Unless we give them like 10 million for the loan deal and then an option to buy for 40, then they could potentially be getting 50 if we decide to take him up on it.
Yeah.
That could be something.
Yeah, I think it could be. We've got a super chat here from Santosh saying we need Fabrizio Romano on the show before the transfer window ends.
Oh, funny you say that.
Well,
you say that.
Well, Well,
stay tuned.
Stay tuned, because Fabrizio Romano could be on the channel very soon, maybe even as soon as tomorrow. So
keep your eyes peeled.
Keep your eyes peeled on the channel, because we could be getting some transfer exclusives directly to you guys. But while we're waiting for that to happen, let's get the Joracle on and let's see what scoops he has for us today.
I want to know what the Joracle's
Is Kulilevsky joining Tottenham? That's what I want to know.
Hey guys.
Hey Jory, how you doing, my friend?
I'm afraid no. I came home empty-handed. I'm sorry, guys.
Did you ask him about McKennie? You didn't ask him about McKennie? Maybe he's coming?
No, I didn't ask about that. I ran around old Milan trying to find Martinez. I couldn't find him anyway. So
hiding. He knew you were coming. Inter heard you on the charge. That was it.
Yeah. Every Louis Vuitton store.
They heard you were on the prowl. They hid him away.
Yeah.
What about Frank Kessie? Yeah. Any signs of Frank Kessie?
No, I didn't hear anything. But I had a good talk with Zlatan though. And he's a super nice guy. But
do you tell him to subscribe?
Yeah, he will. He's good. He said he was good. He loves charity, but he doesn't do that kind of charity, like come to play for Tottenham. So unfortunately, he's not coming, guys. So.
What a shame! What a shame!
Yeah.
What's your Jory? What's your opinions on Adama Traore? Obviously, we saw him play us yesterday. Dominated us on that left-hand side of the pitch. Without much end product. Would you like to see him at Tottenham?
I don't know about that. I mean, I wouldn't say no to him, but I just feel like there's a lot more priorities that we need to work on first. But of course, if it's kind of like a convenient deal and we can get maybe, I mean, I would love to see it if we could get like somebody out, like Winks or whatever out. And get him in with a little bit of money in between. That would be fantastic, I think. And yeah, sure, we need another winger. We need another, flanking player, and there's probably nobody that can flank like he can. So I think he wreaks havoc for sure, but. Also, you gotta say, like, his shooting is woeful. It's like if you're not able to shoot at the age of 25, I don't know if you're ever gonna be able to shoot. So I mean, and I find it completely baffling because he's quite good at dribbling. He's quite good on the ball. So I feel like that's something, at least when I play, that I have a harder time with the dribbling than with the shooting, So it's kind of a weird one. But like you guys say, if Nuno thinks there's some future in this, there's potential, then I think it's worthwhile investigating. I have a lot of faith in Nuno. He certainly gave us a lot of trouble yesterday, for sure. And I mean, like you already said, like Tanganga. He was awesome. We would have been dead without Tanganga. Aurier or Doherty, we would have lost that game, I think.
Yeah.
So a big up to Tanganga, even though he ate him. But I think he, like anybody else, wouldn't have been able to distract him enough to like he limited the damage that Traore did at least. So. But I want to talk to touch on, because I got in a bit of a argument with my mate yesterday about the whole Kane deal saga.
Okay. Tell us both sides of the story.
Well, I feel like people are forgetting a little bit. We heard a couple of weeks ago from Romano, and I rate him highly in terms of insiders and stuff like that. And we heard from him. He said, like, his Man City people were telling him that Levy was ignoring all communication from Tottenham. This was before the Grealish deal, So the way Man City won, I'm not saying Man City didn't mess it up. They messed it up as well, and certainly Charlie Kane messed it up for Harry Kane as well. Everybody messed up here, I think. But I think we have to remember that at the start of the window, Man City were trying to. This was their first deal they were trying to get through, when they were being completely ignored, according to Romano. Then they went for the release clause of Grealish. Now that put them now over the financial fair play limit, which is a little bit of a joke anyway. But that's at least now what they're saying. They're in trouble. They can't go the full 150 now because that will put them over. Which I don't know those calculations, but that's kind of what's coming out of the club now. So we have to remember that, as bad as everybody's played this deal, the whole saga started like so often with Levy, doing his thing, And of course, what's Man City to do, they have an important window as well. They just can't sit around not doing anything. So they moved on Grealish. So but I still think, to be honest, I think Man City is going to do their best offer now, and I would really want us to get a good player in there, like make that deal happen, but make it a good deal for us for sure. I don't want to give them any discounts or whatever, but I feel like, I think it's a bad. I think we'll regret it. Believe it or not, as good as amazing as Harry Kane is, I think we'll look back at it if he stays another season and regret it.
But Jory, if we sell him now, there's 8 days to go. We're not going to sell him today, so into the last week of the window. Like, what good is 150 million? How are we going to spend it? Who can we spend it on?
Well, that's the thing. It needs, of course, to be this domino effect. It needs to be like, everybody needs to make their calls and say, okay, we got the money. You're getting your 95 million for Martinez or Dusan or whoever. It needs to, of course, be in a way that it would release the real upgrade, or not upgrades, but the real we can't like you said, like if we sell him and a Traore is what we're going to do, that's not going to work. And I think even Levy and so on understands that, we need that. And I don't think, to be honest, so if those deals are not available anymore, the Italian deals that we have been talking about, or something comparable, I think then we don't have a deal. That's for sure. I agree with that part of it. But I don't think, to be honest, like Inter and like now, by the way, I think the whole Ndombele thing, as sad as that is, I mean, Ndombele is kind of he's kind of almost a hostage of his own mentality. I hate using those kind of words about people, but he has a loser mentality now. He has a victim mentality. He doesn't look inwards and works on himself to get out of situation. He blames the surroundings, and thinks the grass is greener and all of that. So I don't think we have the time or the luxury to sit around waiting for him to mature, in that regard. And a lot of people never mature in this regard, So
that's true.
So I think now we have at least a very good bargaining chip. I've always thought that Ndombele would be perfect for the Italian league. So I really think we should maybe reapproach those clubs like Inter, even Milan, Juventus, whatever. Yeah, I don't know. Swap deal for Ronaldo for Ndombele. What do you say, guys?
I wouldn't mind that. I think
Ronaldo's too old, mate. Too old. No sell-on value.
I think Ronaldo might have something to say about that. But it'll be interesting to see what we do with Ndombele.
Shirt sales at least. So.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens now between now. But look, Jory, as I said, we're 8 days left to India. Not only is Kane, City are still going to have another bid for Kane. And Ndombele, he wants to leave. It's well documented that Spurs have put Sissoko, Aurier up for sale. Looks like Sanchez is no longer up for sale, but he was at a time. Harry Winks, apparently were open to offers for him as well. And not only that, we need to get players in the door. Adama Traore looks like he's going to be one, but there's other players like we wanted to get another right back in when Aurier leaves. We wanted to get another centre mid. Like there is, why have we left ourselves so much to do with 8 days left? Isn't it it's a bit of a joke, isn't it?
You're stressing me out, Sim.
I'm stressing myself out. I want you to tell me everything's going to be okay, Jory. That's what I wanted.
Yeah. No,
Jory, just tell him everything's going to be okay, please.
No, I think to be honest, I mean, I'm speculating as anybody, but I think to be honest, a lot like Paratici, like it's a domino thing. So I think the big chip that needs to fall here, either way, is Kane. Is he staying? Is he going? So once that new Man City bid is in, then they'll make their decisions for the final decisions. I think in terms of what they're buying, what targets they're going for. I mean, for me, to be honest, as amazing. I mean, Kane will fit in any system and all that. That's actually what I was also a little bit arguing with my mate about yesterday. Is like Kane is so good. He that's not the problem. Kane will always be an add-on value by far to any club, let alone our club. But the project we're building now, Kane is not kind of the perfect profile for that, I have to say, So, in light of everything, I also like the odds now are that Kane will have an injury. He's up for it. Like it's kind of with volcanoes in Iceland. We know they're supposed to go off in a certain interval. Kane has outdone his interval now by quite a bit without an injury. We know that an ankle injury is looming. Like if we just play the odds game, it's quite likely he'll have some injury this season. Based on odds, nothing else. If he has that, and we also see the slower pace, and which will be revealed much more in a Nuno system than ever in a Mourinho. Like the Mourinho setup was the best kind of shopping window Kane could have ever had, in my view. And this was his best season for me. Like not only the stats, but also how he contributed as a playmaker, as defensively, everything. Like he never looked more as a complete package than that season. So I think we're always going to lose a lot in his evaluation for the next summer, but we will get the goals, we'll get the work and all of that. That's very valuable as well. But for me, I think, it's quite important to move on when you have to move on. And like, this is like, if you have to end it with your girlfriend, it's better to do it quick than drag it out, So definitely. That's where I am, let's get on with it, So
all right. Fair enough. Jory, always a pleasure to speak to you, my friend. Always good
Likewise.
to have you on. I'll speak to you in a bit.
Take care, guys. Bye.
See you later, Jory. Up the Spurs. Come on. Apparently, Sol Campbell has been on TalkSport this morning, and apparently he's offered his services to Arsenal to help his coaching staff.
Imagine the atmosphere of Sol Campbell coming to White Hart Lane as manager. Oh, that would be brilliant. Oh, the Judas sign to back out.
I would love for this to happen.
Make it happen.
I think it's absolutely.
Make it happen.
Oh man,
That'd
but we've got an absolutely monstrous super chat here from Richard Blackdog.
Thank you, Richard. Oh my God, so
I
generous.
can't absolutely thank him enough, and it says. Heartbroken, didn't get to see the last two games on TV. Next two aren't on either, despite subs to Sky and BT Sports. There's fans who are unable to travel, who rely on games being streamed. It's why I'm grateful to WeAreTottenhamTV streaming watch-alongs. So thanks, guys.
Thank you very much, Richard. We're here every single game, so really appreciate your support. And look, we're going to be here. We're going to be here every single game, watching everything, the highs and the lows. So thank you very much. I really appreciate your support on the message, Richard. Lovely. And we still got your where is it?
It's just over there.
So the plaque.
It's over there somewhere, yeah.
The wooden plaque.
But yeah, Richard Blackdog has been a big supporter of the channel for a while now, so I can't thank him enough. All of you as well out there. But Fabrizio Romano has been tweeting in the last 15 minutes. And he says, Adama Traore is one of the main names on Tottenham's list as a potential new winger since weeks. Confirmed. Direct talks ongoing with all parties involved. Spurs now preparing a bid.
But interestingly enough, there's 3 names on the list. Adama now priority. Madueke appreciated, but PSV want to keep him. Who's the third?
Who is the third?
Who's the third?
Awa.
He's a winger?
Huh?
He said three names on the list as potential wingers, right?
Can't Awa play deep and on the wing, or is he just a deep player?
He's more of he's more central.
Who could it be? Who else have we been linked with, wingers wise?
Oh, it's that guy from the Georgian Messi.
Oh,
the Georgian Messi.
That's exactly who it is.
Yeah, definitely.
That's why Romano didn't even want to mention it.
Yeah, he didn't want to spell that name. It's just can't fit the characters in the tweet. All right. Who else? Have we got anyone else there?
Yeah, we got Dan, THFC.
Ah, big up, Dan.
How's it going, mate?
Hey guys.
How are you?
Good because I have to leave to school for the first time in a long time in 20 minutes. So.
Oh dear, you got 20 minutes.
I get to chat about Tottenham though. So.
Who needs school when you can come onto We Are Tottenham TV and talk about Tottenham? You know what I mean? Who needs school?
Exactly. You got all your homework done, Dan? You need any last minute help?
Yeah, definitely.
You're asking the wrong people if you do need help. Just saying.
No, in school they don't really give you any.
That's all right. That's all right.
Go to school and laugh at the Arsenal kids. Laugh at the Arsenal kids.
Do you have many Arsenal kids in the school?
There's like 4, but I mean, big population for the Arsenal fans in the world. In the upcoming years, I honestly, with the way that their club is going, I don't see like in 5 years' time for the Arsenal fan base to flatten.
What about Tottenham? Is there many Tottenham fans in your school?
I'm pretty much the only one.
You're the only one.
A few kids. I've converted a few kids, but they're not real Yidos.
You got a better conversion rate than Adama Traore, I think. Tell me, Dan. The talk of Adama's heating up today. Looks like it's a potential move is in the offing. What's your opinion on the transfer?
Well, absolutely. Yesterday he murdered us. Yesterday he looked like prime, like it was just so good watching him dribble past people. And I know he was from the other team, but it was just like every time he got the ball, he would be like, "Oh no, please stop him!" And then he dribbled past 3. At one point, it seemed like everybody just got frightened of him, so they ended up stop going for tackles. But Adama Traore, he's a class player, but he just doesn't have shooting boots. He never manages. He doesn't have that finish, that final project. But you look at it though. Our team, we've got Son and Harry Kane, 2 of the top goal scorers in Europe. If we get Adama Traore, we're not that desperate of a goal scorer. We're more desperate for a winger than a goal scorer. So if we get Adama Traore, it wouldn't be as bad as a signing as everybody's making it sound like. But it really is interesting because we still haven't replaced Gareth Bale, and I'm not sure who's gonna end up being. You guys just said I think it was the Greek Messi or something like that, but
Georgian Messi.
The Georgian Messi.
Get it right, Dan. Get it right. Come on.
My bad. I don't think he's gonna come. So it's just a matter of Adama Traore, or we're gonna end up playing Bergwijn, which honestly I don't see as a bad thing. He had a few. He's been playing good in preseason and the start of the season that he has played. I've seen a few bright signs from him, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I want to see when the transfer window ends. I wish I had a time machine to go back there to see what happens, but at the same time I don't, because I know it's gonna be not too positive for Spurs fans.
Dan, if we signed Adama and then kind of saw Son as more of a striker than a winger, and we had 4 wingers in Bergwijn, Gil, Lucas, and Adama Traore, with 2 strikers in Son and Kane, you think that's enough firepower going into the season?
That's more than enough. I mean, you look at last season, we had mainly the only 2 was Kane and Son, and they produced. Harry Kane obviously produced the Golden Boot, Son was top goal scorer for quite a long time last season. So now we've got Brian Hill. I don't think he'll be starting every match with a week, but I think he'll get a few minutes in, probably Conference League. Then we've got Lucas Moura, who I think is going to be a big part to the play this season. Bergwijn, he's been looking good. Yeah, so with the attacking thing, I think we've got it all sorted. Unless Kane leaves, and that just rips the paper. But the defense is what I think we should be worrying about now. A center back and a right back. That's pretty much the main priority that Paratici should put his focus on. But this is metaphoric if we get Traore. If we get Traore, then yeah, that will be it for the attack. Just focus on the defense. But if not, you have to put a little bit of focus into the right wing position because it's a bit empty. And I'd say not even Adama Traore, even an average right winger, because we've already got Lucas Moura. He's going to be a huge part next season. I've already seen the way that he's been touching the ball. Nuno's probably been telling him something. Oh, in the preseason, he was down the middle. He played these through passes, and I realized every time he'd go through the middle to do those through passes, and it's still happening even on the right wing. Son usually, when Son is playing striker, he moves to the right. Lucas Moura moves to the middle, and then he plays a through ball. It looks like Nuno Espirito Santo's instructed him to do that. But yeah, I mean, Adama Traore, it's just difficult to predict with him because he's amazing, but he just needs to finish. He doesn't have that.
Do you think Adama Traore, if he signed for Tottenham, is there potential he could really explode into an unbelievable player? Is there potential of that happening, or do you think he is what he is and you can't expect anything more from it?
Well, someone I like to compare Bergwijn, that I like to compare Traore to a lot is Steven Bergwijn. I thought he was going to develop him, and look where he's doing better now. So, but you also have to realize that Nuno Espirito Santos was the same man that managed him 1 year ago. So it's not like it's not like all those players that we signed. Oh, Nuno's going to make a big difference in him. No. It's just it's going to be a little bit like the last. It was always, you're always going to get the bigger links when a manager comes into the old club that they were at. So it's not really surprised that we got linked to so many Wolves players in the beginning. But the only one that sticked on all the way to the end of the transfer window is Adama Traore. So there's a lot of people that don't like him because of his finished product. But personally, for me, even if he doesn't have that a few games that he can't put in the back of the net, we've got Son and Kane, and they can finish more goals than they could finish a lot of goals. So it's not like we were desperate for goals. If anything, we're desperate to concede goals if you look at last season, and we're doing a good job at that. So Adama Traore, it would be a good signing for me, but if he's gonna fix his ways for next season, it's a different question.
All right. Dan, enjoy school. Always good to talk to you, and have a safe one. Right. Speak to you soon.
Come on, you Spurs. Before I go, I tweeted you guys with a video that I think is pretty interesting. I was watching the Amazon documentary a few days ago, and it was a quote from Harry Kane about Eriksen's transfer, about how transfers work.
To leave and wanting a new challenge, I think it's natural. That's kind of the gist of what he said. And I remember watching that at the time and thinking, this is kind of ominous to what could happen in the future. And I think so. I remember. Do you not remember that bit? Do you remember that bit in the Amazon?
I'm watching it now on the screen. I kind of remember it. I just can't remember what exactly what was
said.
Yeah,
he said like it's no surprise. It's no surprise when someone wants a new challenge. You can't stop someone from having that.
Yeah, just want to let people know that we are up for Best Club Content Creator at the Content Football Awards, but Matt Hayes is up for Best Young Content Creator. So big up Matt Hayes. I just want to tell everyone to vote. Keep voting for the Tottenham family. Vote for Matt Hayes for Best Young Content Creator. And please vote for us for Best Content Creator, Best Club Content Creator as well. Link is pinned right to the top of the chat. And we are going to bring on our last guest of the stream, Ryan.
Hi guys, you alright?
Good, Ryan. How are you?
I'm great.
But talk to me. Yeah, tell me about it. But talk to me about Adama Traore. Is he a player that you would like to see join?
Well, we spoke about yesterday. I think he's great. I think he's fantastic. But then I saw Alistair Gold's news, the thing that he put on Instagram today, on Twitter today, and it was said that if we were to sign Traore, Son would be pushed up more forward and Traore would play more as a winger. And I do think that we're more in need of a striker than of a winger, and a good backup striker is something I'd rather spend plus 40 mil on than Adama Traore. So I think we need to get the priorities a bit straight before we sign a winger like Traore.
But I was saying to Dan in the last call, if we do sign Adama Traore, we have Bergwijn and Gil on the left, we have Lucas and Adama on the right, and we have Son and Kane for the striking positions. Is that enough firepower?
I think that's a lot of firepower. Like it's a lot to do with. But then it's like if Kane does leave, which I think is really unlikely now, but if Kane was to leave and we were to sign Traore and we'd have just Son and Scarlett up front, I don't think that's enough firepower.
Yeah.
So
yeah, gotta agree with that.
So I do think Traore he'd be a pretty good signing. I think he offers something. He's a really unique player. He offers something different. There's I don't know any players that can do what he can do. How someone can be so strong and fast at the same time. And I think that end product is something that can be worked on. It can be taught. Like, you can't really be taught how to be that fast and that strong, but end product can be taught, especially with the training facilities we have at Tottenham. I think he could explode on the Nuno in this club.
Yeah, I was going to ask that. Do you think, because obviously everyone's judging him and who he's been at Wolves and his lack of end product and that kind of stuff. Do you think though, with his skill set, could we see even a better version of Adama at Tottenham? Could he explode into a player we haven't seen yet?
I think we've seen glimpses of it while he was at Wolves about 2 seasons ago. They played West Ham, and he boomed down the right and he crossed it in, and it was a perfect cross to Jimenez, and it was such a nice goal. It was really satisfying to watch, and I think that he can deliver in a good ball, and I think we've got the poachers up front that can tap in these goals. It's just a matter of how are we going to get the ball to him without a creative midfielder. He seems to actually, no, to be honest, he can run through the pockets of space. He knows what he's doing. It's just that. It's just whether how will he perform in this system. I'm not too sure. Like, it's just a bit. I'm not too sure, to be honest.
It's a difficult one, but if Nuno, he managed him before, and if he wants him again, it's just one of those things where maybe Nuno's got a plan for him. But moving on from Adama, looking at someone like Tongi, who's asked to leave, what are your thoughts on Spurs are currently offering him around, seeing who's going to take him? Do you expect him to be here at the end of the window, and would you want him to be here at the end of the window?
I do expect him to be here. I do not want him to be here because this is the thing. We've been under 4 managers now. Everyone seems to have a problem with him. I think there's just an attitude problem. He's got quite a he can't really commit to playing one role as well. He won't commit to playing deep. He won't commit to playing forward, and his lack of work rate leaves a lot of gaps in the midfield, and it requires a lot of work from the other 2 midfielders that we've been playing in the 3 at the moment. And I think, to be honest, I think Højbjerg and Skipp could hold it down, but then is he enough of a creative outlet to be able to play in the balls to the wingers and to the striker? I don't think he's a natural cam. I think he's more of what he played at Lyon, which was kind of a holding, like ball playing but deep lying playmaker. And I don't think that he can play the position of a cam as much as. Well, I think we could get a more quality cam to play that position. But I do think he'll be here, sadly. But I'd like him to go, and I don't think that from what he's shown at Spurs, his market value lives up to what we paid for, what we paid for him. So it's going to be quite difficult to offload him, unless we get in a swap or a loan to buy, or yeah.
All right, Ryan, absolute pleasure, my friend. We'll see you next time.
Nice to meet you, Ryan.
Nice to speak to you, my friend.
Come on, Spurs.
Super chat from Grandpa.
Oh, really?
He says, we should buy Adama. He has pace and dribbling ability.
He said we should buy Adam. He's talking about Charlie Adam.
Yeah, of course he is. Charlie Adam with his pace and dribbling ability. Others have the striking positions, particularly if Kane comes in. I would sell Ndombele and maybe Reguilon.
No, I can't sell Reguilon.
He says maybe Reguilon as well. Why would you sell Reguilon? That's an interesting one, Grandpa. I like to.
I thought Grandpa liked Reguilon.
And maybe I would sell Ndombele and maybe Reguilon. Interesting. Another super chat from Carl Panyard. He says,
KPV.
I voted for WeAreTottenhamTV as the best club creator in the Premier League. Come on, you Spurs. Keep up the good work, lads. You are absolute legends. And before we leave you, there is one more update from Dan Kilpatrick.
Oh, yeah.
About Adama Traore. This one really seems to be hotting up. Tottenham are preparing a bid for Adama Traore, with Wolves ready to listen to offers for the winger if he does not sign a contract before the end of the transfer window. Spurs boss Nuno is a massive fan of Traore, who impressed in Spurs' 1-0 win yesterday. With manager Paratici has also thought to target him while he was at Juventus. Traore has 2 years left on his current deal. He has been in talks with Wolves over a new contract for over a year, although he is yet to agree terms. While talks have not broken down, there is acceptance at Wolves that if a sensible bid to sell Traore this summer, that it would be sensible to sell Traore this summer if he does not sign a deal this month. They would therefore consider a Spurs bid for the 25-year-old, although it would take a sizable offer to persuade them to sell. And do you think as well, with Neto injured and still to come in, that also makes sense for them to maybe cash in on Traore when they have a player like Neto coming in anyway, who's currently injured.
Well, Neto's injured for a long time now, so if they do sell him, they're going to be short.
For a bit, until Neto comes back.
Yeah, but he's out for a while, isn't he?
I think he was out for 6 months when he got injured. I don't know how much longer he's got left of that.
I thought there was a setback in his injury last week.
Yeah, you might be right. I'm not sure. You might be right. But I'm saying, you know, this bid from Tottenham might not be here in a year's time, and maybe with Neto as well in the pipeline and Traore not signing a contract, maybe it does make sense to take the money for them.
Yeah, I mean, if he's not signing a contract, it does make sense. But if it's going to leave them short, then it kind of doesn't make sense.
Well, have to wait and see.
Yeah, we're going to have to see how this plays out. I think there's going to be a lot of kind of twisting and turnings with a few deals from now.
Interesting to see what Wolves fans think of this.
Yeah, I was literally about to say that, because when we signed Matt Doherty, we did that video with, I can't remember what the channel was called, but a Wolves channel. And I was very excited with the signing of Matt Doherty at the time, and they completely poured cold water on it and said like, oh, it's not going to be such a successful signing, and we're happy to see him go and all this kind of stuff. But thank you for the service, but happy to see him go. I'm excited, and that's exactly how it panned out. They were pretty spot on with the Doherty thing. So I'd like to know their opinion on the Adama Traore situation as well. So yeah. But we've been online for nearly 3 hours now, 2 hours 40 minutes. So I think that is it for Good Morning Tottenham. We'll be back with our player ratings, 5 takeaways, and a Tottenham update later today. So thank you everyone for joining today. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always,
come on you Spurs.